gentlemen, if I could ask everyone to take their seat, please. My name is Janet Brown. I'm Executive Director of the Commission on Presidential Debates, and I'd like to welcome you to the first presidential debate of 2020. There are a lot of people who have made extraordinary contributions to making this evening possible. And in a few moments, you will hear from two of our co-chairs to start the appreciation to those who have helped. Our third co-chair, Dot Ridings, is in Louisville, Kentucky tonight. Her leadership in debates goes back to 1976 and includes the presidency of the League of Women Voters. CPD is the beneficiary of 33 years worth of people who have been willing to put their name on our work. To all of those former presidents and chancellors of debate sites, to former moderators, to members of our Debates International Network who have set their clocks to 3 a.m. tomorrow morning to tune in live, we thank you with all our hearts. In 1987, Paul Kirk and Frank Fahrenkopf co-founded the CPD. I'd like to introduce the co-chair, Frank Fahrenkopf, and his colleague are also our co-chair, Ken Wallach, to start this part of the program.
Oh my Lord, is this thing on? Is this thing on? Talk about this. Music from Google. Good evening, everybody. I am your CBS, FOX, CNN, NBN, NBA, ABCD, EFJ, KLMN, OP correspondent, Debra. And I'm going to be doing this live reaction commentary on the presidential debate that will be coming up in about 13 minutes. So if you're new here, I see I've got 40 million viewers. Oh Lord, how are you girls doing tonight? This music is makes me think of the West Wing. Y'all, I am so ready. I've got my lemon water. Got my lemon water ready, okay? Let me get the microphone ready. What about that? Oh my Lord, y'all are like a mile away from me. Is that better? Is that better? Is that better? All right, y'all. I've got it on C-SPAN, y'all. I've got it ready to put it up as soon as we get everything ready, once they get ready. I've got my lemon water, and I also made me a PSL, y'all. I've got me a pumpkin spice latte that I made at the house. Honey, is this going to be a dumpster fire? Lord, you know what? I was thinking as I was getting ready, I so missed the days of the yeast when we did this last year. Well, when we did this last go around, it was so much. Had so much fun with Madge and the girls. I really did. I really did. It's sad they're all dead now. So sad. All right, let me test my feed. We're going to be using... Listen, I had a debate stage and stuff that I had prepped. I had a podium and I had 2 screens on, but it was just too much going on. I said, you know what, we're just going to do it more a simpler view. So, let's see. How's that? And we should have the chat up here. Is the chat? Yep, we got the chat above me. And to my left, we got C-SPAN going, where I'm going to be doing this live. I'm going to cover what's going on. And hopefully they don't try to take me down. They shouldn't. There's so many other people. This is a presidential debate. Not one network owns any of this. It's just one feed, and it goes out to all of the networks, including the Church of Debra network, the David Pakman network. Oh my Lord, y'all, David Pakman. Yeah, I don't know if I told y'all this, but I did a super chat just so he would say a little something to me about a couple weeks ago, and oh my God. Oh, David Pakman. Oh my Lord, he's got my heart, y'all. He's just got my heart. I don't know if he's don't know if he's got a girlfriend or not, but I'm willing. I'm willing to go the mile for you, David. I don't know if you're looking for an older woman, but let this just stand out there that I am available, David, and you can get it, honey. You can get it. But yeah, I see other people are covering it, so we should be good. I really hope so. Da, 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 da. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. All right, let's see who's on here tonight, shall we? We got Chris, Wesley, Coco, Impeccable. We've got Carter. We've got Brant, Rashawn, Bark. We've got, did I say Chris before? I think I did. Teresa, hello, honey. Kyle, hello. Wesley, hello. Murkowski Wilkerson 2020. Stevie, hello. Baby, hello, my friend. Oh, my Lord, we got everybody, it looks like. VRA, hello. Oh, honey, Biden is going to do great. I really think Biden's going to do fine. You know, the problem with Trump is he has tried to make this character of Biden, like, just not even functional human being that's just hooked up to a bag of, electrolytes and can barely get out of the bed. And so whatever Biden does tonight, whether it really is outstanding or it's, pretty much basic and nothing, extraordinary, everybody's going to be like, wow, Biden really hit it out of the park. Now, Trump, it's a powder keg with him. You never know which way it's going to go, because I seen a thing with him the other day, and he was like so high. I mean, he was high as a kite. I don't know what he was on. I don't know if he's taking his uppers, but honey, he was like up there, and he was just going and going and going and hitting it, like a stand-up comedian. And then like the next day, it was like all that energy was gone, and it was just like no energy. He had none. So we shall see. It's a hit or miss. I think the taxes have really shook him, because he wouldn't even answer any questions the other day in the White House at that briefing, whatever it was. Oh, Lord. Good evening. I hope this is not going to be a Trump honey, it's going to, listen, I like to watch him react, baby. If something crazy happens, something crazy happens. If Trump says something stupid, he says something stupid. Biden says something stupid, he says something stupid, honey. This is the house of Debra, honey. I'm sure Sam's got her thing going. She's probably doing the same thing. There's plenty of Trump networks, they're doing their commentary, Listen, I'm not staying in the closet anymore. It's 2020, y'all. Or is it 21? Or is it 4040? Or is it 1212? Oh, exactly, Berg. I mean, these debates, I don't know how anybody can be undecided. I mean, come on, I was decided way long ago, honey. So, I mean, there should be I don't think anybody's getting swayed. But, the American people are a strange bunch, because, a lot of people did vote for him that voted for Obama last time, so maybe that's like who these debates are really for. Maybe that's who they're for. I don't know. It's so funny. I think the other day I was watching CNN, and they had some people they were interviewing, and they were up there talking, and they were still undecided. I'm like, honey, come on, get it together. But, Stevie says that I am going to be a Trump bashing event, honey. S baby's I'm gonna cut my hair while I listen. Honey, I need to get mine touched up. I need to touch mine up, honey. Wouldn't it be funny, though? Wouldn't it be funny if all of a sudden when this starts, you have the right and left. You got Biden and Trump, right? And all of a sudden, you see smoke, flashes, glitter falls down from the top of the ceiling, and all of a sudden balloons fall. and a podium arises from the depths of the stage below, and up in the air goes Hillary Clinton, and she's in Versace, and she starts singing. You know what I mean? Wouldn't that be amazing? And then she's like, what would be a good song that Hillary could do? She could do like 911, Papa 911. That would so be it. What's that movie where Idiosyncrasy or whatever that movie's called? I could so see that happening. Oh my Lord. Sort of looks like Jill Biden, doesn't it? Jill, not Joan. I like the pink. I like the pink. Okay, now some of these people are sitting next to each other. So are they together? Because they're not spaced out. Remember they were talking about how they were going to be spaced out. I don't think that's a good optics. People need to be spaced out. I mean, people have got masks on, but people need to be spaced out. But I'm sure people are testing like nobody's business now. Like a lot of these movie sets, they got the instant test and stuff. Now, I don't know how accurate it is because there was some reporting coming out that, like half of the instant test things were like completely horrible. Like you couldn't go by it. So who knows? How can y'all hear this music? It's so depressing. It sort of makes me think of Titanic. Jack, don't let go. Jack, don't you dare. Don't you let go, Jack. Jack, as God is my witness, I will never let go of this stone diamond that you gave me. Never. Jack, before you go. Please, Jack, tell me. What was your social security number and your passcode to your iPhone? I might as well max out your credit cards before you sink to the abyss, Jack. Oh, that's horrible, BLT. You never know, honey. But I don't think so. I think everybody, I mean, you just never know, but let's see. There should be no audience at all. Trump would been useless. Oh, that's true, Stevie. It's so hard to play without an audience. It really is. That's like sometimes I go on these lives, and if I don't have a lot of people here, it's harder, to work a crowd. You know what I'm saying? Hello, Clinched. Hello. Hello, honey. Hello. How are you doing tonight? That smiley face makes me think of the old Walmart bags. Do y'all remember that? When the Walmart mascot with that smiley face? And then you remember he'd do that rollback thing? And he'd be rolling back those prices and then cowboy boots and cowboy hat. Oh my Lord, them were the days. The Walmart mascot man was looking kind of sexy. He could get it. Oh my Lord. Y'all, I'm drinking my iced PSL that I made at the home. Spice. And I just accidentally swapped it with the lemon water, and oh my God, that was the most weirdest taste I've ever had in my mouth. Hello, Brandon, honey. Hello, High Seas. High Seas, I don't think there'll be any copyright violations. So this isn't like the normal debates, like the primary debates. So those, each network, it's just on Fox. You got to watch Fox. So the presidential debates go out to everyone. So there's one single camera feed, and then it just goes out to all the networks. I'm considered a network, I hope. We'll see. We will see. We will see if they take me down. I hope they don't. All right, is he talking? Turn my girl up. Oh. I don't hear her. Do y'all hear her? Uh-oh. I don't hear her. It was working before. Hold on, let me refresh. Let me refresh. Well, we know that's working because they got an ad. Yeah, there's no audio. They're going to have to fix this. Unless there's no audio because somebody put out a copyright notice to C-SPAN.
Him a little bit earlier, he's saying that he's not going to be a fact checker tonight.
That's right. He was saying.
All right, hold on, girls. I'm trying to find y'all a better feed. Trying to find a better feed. That is so strange that there's no audio. The only thing I can guess is they sent like Fox News or someone or CNN sent a a copyright claim for the audio and they had to mute. All right, there's C-SPAN 1. Let's try 2 and we'll try PBS. No audio. Okay, so we got, who is this? PBS NewsHour is saying stay tuned. Started yet. So maybe he's talking to the crowd and they don't want them. I don't know. We'll just put it up. Listen to me like I'm in a newsroom. Oh, Lord. Ah! Oh. Has he got a tan? He kind of looks different, doesn't he? He normally is so pale, he actually looks a lot healthier. Okay, they fixed it. Apparently his mic wasn't working. Who knows? They must didn't want him talking about that. I don't know. They didn't want it out there, whatever he was talking about. You think that's what it was? Chris Wallace came out. Oh, I love the pinstripe. I mean, I can't stand her as a first lady, but she does look good. She always dresses fabulous. Except that one time, where she had that shirt or whatever it was that said, I really don't care. That was kind of horrible, wasn't it? Look at him waving. Who's Jill Biden waving to? She waved to somebody. I kind of feel so bad for Hillary, though, because, I don't remember anything Hillary wore, which, I guess it shouldn't be a fashion thing for the first ladies, but, Jackie Kennedy really made it, about fashion. And when Michelle Obama came in, I was like, oh my God. You remember that? So many people were shocked because she was wearing such, beautiful dresses and stuff. And do y'all remember that dress she wore and it like sold out? It was insane. And her arms, oh my God, fabulous. And I do think Melania, to be fair, she has continued with the fashion. She's continued looking good. Everything else Trump has done has been horrible in my eyes and just terrible for the country. But at least, at least the wife looks good, I guess. She's very stylish. But poor Laura Bush. Only thing I remember is when she wore that red dress to like was it a heart? I think it was like a heart party or something back in the day. I don't remember what it was for. Some type of fundraiser for the heart. Y'all remember that? Poor Hillary. Oh, Lord. And their daughter. I was listening to Joan the other night. Oh, Lord. Their poor daughter. There was just no hope for that girl. They couldn't get him a better chair. Look at that office chair. It's so ugly. I mean, I know it's not going to be shown on camera, I guess, when this starts. So you can actually see there's a 3-camera setup. Sort of like the Roseanne show, y'all. There is a center, a right, and a left camera. And then that feed just goes out to all the networks. Oh, yeah, he does need a gamer chair, doesn't he? Who is that gentleman talking to Jill Biden? Do you see him? A big girl, isn't it? He's popping out of that chair, girl. Oh my God, those chairs. Sometimes they do style over function with these events, and those chairs look very stylish, but I don't think they could hold over 200 pounds. Oh my God, what if that chair breaks, y'all? If the chair breaks. Atlantic. Good evening. I wonder if I can do this. Good evening from the Health Education Campus of Western Reserve University. It's so hard to read. I'm your host, Debra. Chris has always looked the same, hasn't he? Like, I mean, I've never can recall a time when he didn't look the same. He doesn't, he's always, you know, he's an older gentleman, but he's always looked the same. He's never looked younger.
Good
He's
evening
never looked
from
older.
the Health Education Campus of Case Western Reserve
Good evening.
University.
Uh-oh,
The Health Education
Campus
of
uh-oh.
Case
I'm
Western
Chris Wallace
Reserve
of
University.
Wait a minute now.
And I welcome you
Wait
to
a
the
minute
first
now.
of the
Chris
20
Wallace
President
is-
Fox News, and I welcome you to the
President
first
Donald
of the
J. Trump
2020 presidential
and former
debates
Vice President
between
Joe Biden.
President Donald J. Trump and former Vice President Joe Biden.
Lord have mercy.
This debate is sponsored by the Commission on Presidential Debates.
That was too many.
The
That
commission
was
has
too many
designed the
Chris's,
format,
y'all.
6 roughly 15-minute segments with 2-minute answers from each candidate to the first question, then open discussion for the rest of each segment.
Okay.
Both campaigns have agreed to these rules. For the record, I decided the topics and the questions in each topic
There was just too many.
or the two candidates. This debate is being conducted under health and safety protocols designed by the Cleveland Clinic,
Okay,
which is
wonderful.
serving as the health security advisor to the commission for all 4 debates. As a
Somebody
precaution,
get him a
both
lint
campaigns
roller.
have agreed the candidates will not shake hands at the beginning of tonight's debate.
Duh.
The audience here in the hall has
They're going to spit in each other's mouth. Ah.
no boos or other interruptions, so we, and more importantly you, can focus on what the candidates have to say.
You know they're
No
going to
noise
cheer.
except right now, as we welcome the Republican nominee, President Trump,
Get him a lint
and the
roller,
Democratic
please.
nominee,
It's
Vice
bothering
President
me.
Biden.
Look at that piece of lint in his left collar. So all right, but his left. Oh, Lord. What was that? How you doing, man? Oh, this is so broy already. I can't. This is so broy,
Gentlemen, a
y'all.
lot of people have been waiting for this night, so let's get going. Our
This
first
is so
subject
broy.
is the Supreme Court. President Trump, you nominated Amy Coney Barrett over the weekend to succeed the late Ruth Bader Ginsburg on the court. You say the Constitution is clear about your obligation and the Senate's
Oh,
to
here we
consider
go.
a nominee to the court. Vice President Biden, you say that this is an effort by the president and Republicans to jam through an appointment and what you call
He doesn't look so
an abuse
happy.
of
Trump
power.
looks
My
so
first question
angry.
to both of you tonight: why are you right in the argument you make, and your opponent wrong? And where do you
See,
think
this is one
a
thing I
Justice
hate.
Barrett would take?
They're asking too many questions. Like they're loading a question. It's too much.
Much, Chris. I will tell you very simply, we won the election. Elections have consequences.
It's
We have
true.
the Senate,
Obama told
we have
us.
the White House, and we have a phenomenal nominee, respected by all, top academic, good in every way, good in
yeah,
every
yeah.
way. In fact,
like the
some of her
Handmaid's
biggest
Tale.
endorsers are very liberal people from Notre Dame and other
You
places.
notice his
So I think she's
eyes
gonna
are
be
colored this
fantastic.
time.
We have
Normally his
plenty of
eyes are
time.
wide.
Even if we did it after the election itself. I have a lot of time after the election, as you know. So I think that she will be
Or
outstanding. She's
Biden's
going
white
to be,
and Trump is orange,
as
y'all.
good as anybody
He
that has
literally
served
is
on that court.
orange.
We really feel that. We have a professor at Notre Dame, highly respected by all, said she's the single greatest student he's ever had. He's been a professor for a long time. at a
Biden's
great
forehead,
school.
Lord have mercy.
And we just we
I
won
think
the
they used
election,
some of
and
Joan
therefore we
Rivers'
have the right
ashes in that
to
forehead.
choose her, and very few people knowingly would say otherwise. And by the way, the Democrats, they wouldn't even think about not doing it. If they had, the only difference is they'd try and do it faster. There's no way they would give it up. They had Merrick Garland, but the problem is they didn't have the election, so they were
What?
stopped.
They did have the
And
election.
Probably that would happen.
What do
in
you mean?
reverse also, definitely would happen. So we won the election, and we have the right to do it.
We did have the election. We had
President Trump, thank you.
Obama. What do you
Same
mean? We
question
didn't
to
have
you,
the
Vice
Senate.
President Biden. You have 2 minutes.
Well, first of all, thank you for doing this and looking forward to this, Mr.
Thank you,
President.
Joe.
See, he's so nice. Why is he
American
being so
people
nice to
have a
Jeff?
right
This is
to have
weird.
a say in who the Supreme Court nominee is. And that say occurs when they vote for a United States senators and when they vote for the President of the United States. They're not going to get that chance now because we're in the middle of an election already. The election has already started. Tens of thousands of people have already voted. And so the thing that should happen is we should wait. We should wait and see what the outcome of this election is, because that's the only way the American people get to express their view.
Biden is really peppy. If I'm just changing the channels and coming on here, Trump is coming off like angry, low energy. Biden's coming off calm and collected and together. But Trump's not coming off angry or anything, so.
He's in the Supreme Court right now trying to get rid of the Affordable Care Act, which will strip 20 million people from having insurance, health insurance now, if it goes into court, and the justice, and I have nothing. I'm not opposed to the justice. She seems like a very fine
Biden was
person.
not my first choice.
But she's written before she went.
It wasn't
bench,
my
which is her
second
right,
or my third or
she
my fourth.
thinks that the
But, you know,
Affordable Care Act is not
This
constitutional.
is who we got. This is who the people voted for.
The other thing that's on the court, and
I'm
if-
gonna
if it's
support him
struck down,
100%.
What happens? Women's rights are fundamentally changed. Once again, a woman could be pay more money because
I agree
she has
with
a
you,
pre-existing
Holly.
condition of pregnancy. They were able to charge a woman more for the same exact procedure a man gets. And that ended when we, in fact, passed the Affordable Care Act. And there's 100 million people who have pre-existing conditions, and they'll be taken away as well. Those pre-existing conditions, the insurance companies are going to love this. And so it's just not appropriate to do this before this election. If he wins the election,
I'm not
and the
feeling
Senate
that
is
tie,
Democrat
though. What's
or
going on with that
Republican,
tie, y'all?
then he goes
Both of their
forward. If
ties
not,
are
we should wait
horrible.
until February.
There aren't 100 million people with pre-existing conditions. As far as the say is concerned, the people already had their say. Okay, Justice Ginsburg said very powerfully, very strongly, at some point, 10 years ago or so,
She should have stepped
she
down
said
when
the
Obama
president
was
and the
president.
Senate is elected for a period of time.
His
And
first
the president's
term.
elected for 4 years.
That's my
We're not
opinion. I don't know
elected
if you
for 3
girls
years.
agree
I'm
with
not
that,
elected
but I
for 3
really-
years.
I think
so
she
we
should
have
have
the
done it
Senate,
then.
we have a president.
He's elected to the next
During
election.
that period of time, we have an opening. I'm not elected for 3 years. I'm elected for 4 years.
The
And the
election's
100
already
million
started.
people, Joe, the 100 million people is totally wrong. I don't know where you got that number. The
What?
bigger problem that you have is that you're going to extinguish
Everybody that gets
180
the
million
virus
people
is going
with
to be
their private
pre-existing,
healthcare
y'all.
that
Have
they're
y'all
very
seen what it does
happy
to
with.
your
not
lungs
true.
and
Well, you're
heart?
certainly
knows
going
that.
to
But-
socialist.
Go
You're
ahead.
going to
This-
socialist.
Whatever.
Gentlemen, we're now into open discussion.
Open discussion.
Open discussion. Yes, I agree. Go ahead, Vice President.
Number
Biden.
one, he knows that what I proposed. What I proposed is that we expand Obamacare and we increase it. We do not.
Oh, is that
write
what it is,
and
BRT?
One of the big
Okay.
debates we had with 23 of my colleagues trying to win the nomination that I won were saying that Biden wanted to allow people to have private
That's how I
insurance
feel,
now.
Christian,
They
honey.
can. They do. They will under my proposal.
Not what you've said,
But
and it's not what
that
your
is-
party has said.
that is simply
Your party
a lie.
doesn't say it. Your
That
party
is
wants to
simple.
go socialist
My
medicine
party is
and
me.
socialist
right
healthcare.
now, I am
And
the
they're
This
gonna
party
Democratic
is
dominate
far
you, Joe.
from
You know that.
socialist.
I am the
mean,
Democratic Party right now.
This is insane.
The platform of the
They're trying to turn
Democratic
Biden
Party is
into
what
Bernie. It's
I,
just not
in
gonna
fact,
happen, honey.
Approved of. What I approved of. Now, here's the deal. The deal is that it's going to wipe out pre-existing conditions. By the way,
Tremaine, it's
the
starting.
200,000 people that have died on his watch. How many of those have survived?
Preach it, sister.
There are 7 million
I've
people
lost
that's
many
contracted
listeners,
COVID.
friends.
What does it mean for them going forward if you
is
strike
true.
down the Affordable Care Act? And
Joe, you've had
pre-existing conditions?
308,000 military people dying because you couldn't provide them proper health care in the military. So don't tell me
I'm
about
happy
this.
to talk about
And
this.
if you were here,
Look,
it
here's
wouldn't
the
be
deal.
200, it would be 2 million people because you were very late on the draw. You
Late
didn't
on
want
the
me to
draw.
ban China, which was heavily infected.
He's just
You didn't
trying to
want me
muddy the
ban-
water now.
All right,
He's
we're-
pulling
gentlemen,
everything
all
out.
right,
Which
no,
was heavily
Mr. President,
You would have
Mr.
been much
President,
later, Joe.
Mr. President,
Much later.
Mr.
You're
President.
talking
Get him
about
in
2 million
line,
people.
Chris.
You're not
Put
gonna
him in
do
Mr.
line.
Moderator, we are going to talk about COVID in the next segment.
Get him in line,
Go
honey.
ahead.
Let me finish. The point is that the president also is opposed to Roe v. Wade. That's on the ballot as well in the court. And so that's
Y'all
also at
really
stake
think Trump's
right
against
now.
abortion,
And so the
personally?
election
Come
is
on.
You don't know
already
it's on the
begun.
ballot.
Trump
Why
is
is it
just
on the
playing a
ballot?
fiddle.
Because
Why is it
you
on the
said
ballot? It's not
you're-
on the ballot.
It's on the ballot in the
I
court.
don't think so.
In the court. Well,
There's nothing happening there.
Donald, would you
And you
just
don't
be quiet
know
for a
her
minute?
view on Roe v. Wade.
Oh, Lord, this is a
All
mess.
right, all right, let's talk.
This is a mess.
We got a lot to unpack here.
How
gentlemen.
can
We
you
got a lot of
debate like
time,
this
so-
when Trump just won't? I mean, see
on
what I'm
healthcare,
saying?
and
Just-
then we'll come back
oh
to
my
Roe v.
God,
Wade.
this is
All right.
turning into
Mr.
a mess.
President, the
I knew it would be a
Supreme
mess.
Court
That's why I
will
wanted to
hear
cover it.
A case a week after the election
Oh, my God.
in which the Trump administration, along with 18 state attorneys general, are seeking to overturn
That's right.
Obamacare, to end
Trump probably
Obamacare.
gave out
You have
abortions
spent the
like
last-
coupon
Because they
Sunday.
want to give good health care.
If I may ask, my
Want an
question,
abortion?
Good health care.
over the last 4 years, you have promised to repeal and replace Obamacare, but you have never in these 4 years come up with a plan, a comprehensive plan
Yes,
to
I have.
replace Obamacare.
Of course I have.
Well, I'll
I
give
got
you an
rid of the
and when I
individual
finish,
mandate.
I'm going to give you an
Excuse me.
opportunity.
I got rid of the individual mandate, which was a
That is
big
not a
chunk of
comprehensive
Obamacare.
plan.
That is absolutely a big thing. That was the worst
I
part of
didn't ask
Obamacare.
Sir,
Chris,
you're
that was the
debating him,
worst
not
part
me.
of Obamacare.
Let me ask my
Well,
question.
I'll ask Joe.
The
The individual mandate was the most
Oh,
unpopular
Lord.
aspect of
Mr.
Obamacare. I
President,
got rid of it.
I'd like you
and
to,
we will
Mr.
protect people
President,
with
I'm the
pre-existing
moderator of this
conditions.
debate, and I would like you to let me ask my question, and then you can answer your
ahead.
question. You, in the course of these 4 years, have never come up with a comprehensive plan to replace
I don't think Trump's going to do
Obamacare,
another
and
debate.
just
I
this
really
last
don't.
Thursday, you signed a largely symbolic
I
executive
think
order
the
to
second one
protect people
he'll do like he did when he did the
pre-existing
Republican
conditions
debate.
5
He'll
days
say
before
he's
this
not
debate.
going.
So my question, sir, is what is the Trump health care plan?
Fine. Well, first of all, I guess I'm debating you, not him, but that's okay. I'm not
What?
surprised. Let me just tell you something. that
Where did
there's
that
nothing
come
symbolic.
from?
I'm cutting drug prices. I'm going with favored nations, which no president has the courage to do because you're going against big pharma. Drug prices will be coming down 80 or 90%. You could have done it during your 47-year period.
I don't even
in
remember
government,
what
but
the
you didn't
original
do it.
question was,
Nobody's
y'all.
done it.
I really don't like. What was the original question? Does anybody know? Because this has just turned into. I don't even know what this is. This is just a hot mess.
It's
It's
so
a dumpster
cheap.
fire.
It's like water.
What was the
You wanna know
question?
It's so cheap. Take a look at all of the drugs.
What was the
what
question? Does
prescription
anybody
drug prices.
know?
We're
For
gonna
real,
allow
in the chat, anybody.
other countries
Trump
to buy
supporter?
drugs because they pay just a
Biden
tiny
supporters,
fraction
does
of
anybody know what the original question was?
big stuff.
Sir, you'll be happy. I'm about to pick up on one of your points to ask the Vice President.
Oh my God, this is a hot
I
mess.
would like to add a
They should have put them each in a cone, and then like the cone just automatically just shuts off, you know, like a Gaga cone or something.
that is going to
Lord, there was less animosity between Whitney Houston and Mariah Carey at the Grammys.
It will
Not what your
end.
party says, by the way.
It will end private insurance and create a government takeover of health care.
It does not. It's only for those people who are so poor they qualify for
Tremaine,
Medicaid.
Biden won't take the bait. That's
They
true.
can
He
get
has
that free
Biden has not
in
like
most
started
states, except
going
governors
after
who
Trump
want
in
to
that
deny
aspect.
people who are poor Medicaid. Anyone who qualifies for Medicare would, Medicaid would automatically be enrolled
Oh, Lord,
in
I
the
must
public
mix the
option.
coffee and
the
the-
vast majority of the American
the
people
lemon
would
again.
still not be in that option. Number one.
Joe, you
Number
agreed
two.
with Bernie Sanders, who's
I
far
did-
left, on the manifesto,
when
we
you-
call it.
when
And that
manifest-
gives you socialized medicine.
Look, hey,
Are you
I'm
saying
not
you
going
didn't
to listen
agree?
to him. The fact of the matter is, I beat Bernie Sanders.
They should have put him in
Not very much.
boxes.
I beat him a whole hell of a lot. I'm
Not
here.
by
I'm here
much.
standing facing you, old buddy.
Pocahontas would have.
Oh, my
left 2 days
God,
ago. He
here
would
we
have
go
lost every
again.
All
primary
he knows how to
on
do is
Super
hurt.
Tuesday. You got
Look,
very lucky.
here's the deal.
Insult.
I got very lucky. I'm going to get very lucky tonight as well. And tonight I'm going to make sure because.
Why? I mean,
here's
what
the
is
deal.
Pocahontas?
Here's the deal.
What does that
The
got?
fact
We're not
is that
talking
everything he's saying
Disney.
So far is simply
Yeah,
a
is
lie.
there a
I'm not
remake in
here
the
to call
work?
out his
Has
lies.
anybody
Everybody
seen
knows
anything
his
about the
lies.
remake?
You
I just
agree-
want to
Joe,
make sure.
you're the liar.
I want to make sure.
Graduated last in your class, not first in your class.
I want to make
Mr.
sure.
President, can you let him finish, sir?
No, he doesn't know how to do that. He has,
You'd be surprised.
you pick
You'd be surprised.
the
Go ahead,
wrong
Joe.
guy,
Talk,
the wrong
Joe,
night at
go.
the wrong time.
Listen. you
Oh,
agreed with
Joe,
Bernie
do not
Sanders
fall
said
for
the
this.
whole
It's going to just
idea-
turn into
Let
back
me
and
answer that.
forth.
There is no
Then somebody's going to come out
manifesto.
giving
Nobody's
roses. It's going to be like The
You just
Bachelor.
lost the left.
Number two,
You just lost the left. You agreed with Bernie Sanders.
This
on a
is turning
plan.
into Trump being the moderator.
Absolutely
Folks,
agreed
do you
to.
have
Chris,
any idea
take
what this
the
is
wheel.
doing?
Chris, take the wheel. Oh, I wish I was doing this. I wish I was doing this. Oh, honey, I'd tell them, listen, you both get 2 minutes, you shut your damn mouth.
He, in fact, already has cost $10 million
Whoever talks over somebody, I'm going to smack them with a ruler.
because of his recession. Number one. Number two,
yeah.
there are 20 million people getting health care through Obamacare now that he wants to take it away. He won't ever look you in the eye and say that's what he wants to do. Take it away.
No, I want to give them
Number
better
three.
health care.
Trump was way better in the last debates. He wasn't acting like
He
this.
doesn't know how
I've
to do
already
that.
fixed it.
He has never
I've
offered
already
a
fixed
plan.
it
this
to an
is not
extent.
going
He has
well.
never
Obamacare,
done a
as you
single
might
thing.
know, but probably don't.
Gentlemen, you
Obamacare
realize
is
if you're
no
both
good, Joe.
speaking at the
It's
same
So
time.
I think what they're doing is, I think Trump is doing this to intentionally get Joe's thoughts messed up because he's trying to stay on topic, and then it's rattling him. So I mean, I guess if that's the point, then Trump's doing what he was trying to do.
That they shouldn't even call it Obamacare. Then I had a choice to make. Do I let my people run it really well?
Honey, if we took a shot every time
or
he
badly?
interrupted, we'd
If
all
I
be
run it
drunk.
badly, they'll probably blame him, but they'll blame me. But more importantly, I want to help people. Okay? I said you got to run it so well.
Chris-
And I just
Chris
had a
needs
meeting
to-
with them. They said the problem is no matter how well you run Obamacare, it's a disaster.
Oh my God, this
It's
is
too
a
expensive.
disaster.
Premiums are too high.
Obamacare ain't nothing compared to this.
We do want to get rid of it.
This is a hot mess.
I
The
understand
dumpster's
it's
on
not
fire
balanced.
and
I
it's
have
got
to give you
babies
roughly
in it.
equal time.
And nobody will save the
Let the
babies.
Vice President talk.
Good.
He has no plan for health care. Of
course we do.
Please.
He sends out wishful thinking. He has executive
true.
orders that have no power.
true.
He hasn't lowered drug costs for anybody. He's been promising a health care plan
Yeah.
since he got elected. He has none, like almost everything else he talks about. He does not have a plan. He doesn't have a plan. And the fact is, this man doesn't
He's
know
got
what
a
he's
plan.
talking about.
He's got a
He's
plan.
I have one final question
Could
for you.
fry some chicken in his
Mr. Vice
hand.
President, if Senate Republicans, we were talking originally about the Supreme Court here. If Senate
Oh, that's what we were
Republicans go
talking
ahead
about.
and confirm Justice Barrett, there has been
Barron.
talk about ending the filibuster.
Look at
or even
Tiffany.
packing the
Why do
court,
they have the
adding
light on
to the 9
Tiffany?
justices
What is
there.
Tiffany?
You call this a distraction by the president, but in fact, it wasn't brought up by the president. It was brought up by some of your
Tiffany is
Democratic
looking,
colleagues in
like,
the Senate and
what?
Congress. So my question to you is, you have refused in the past to talk about it. Are you willing to tell the American people tonight whether or not you will support either ending the filibuster or packing the court?
Whatever position I take on that, that'll become the issue. The issue is the American people should speak. You should go out and vote. You're in voting now. Vote and let your senators know how
you gonna
strongly
pack
you
the
feel.
court?
Vote now.
You packed
Make
the court,
sure
Trump.
you, in
Nobody
fact,
said
let
anything
people
against
know
you. I
we're
mean,
senators.
that's what a
I'm not
president's
gonna
going to
answer the
do.
question
Why wouldn't you
because-
answer that
because
question?
the
You wanna
question
put a lot
is,
of
the
new
question
Supreme
is,
Court justices,
the
radical
question-
left.
Will you
Who
shut
is
up,
on,
man?
Listen, who is on your list, Joe?
This
Who's
is
on your
so-
list?
All right, gentlemen, I think
This
we've
is
ended
so
this.
He's going to pack the
unpresidential.
court.
but
We
that
have
is so-
ended,
not
no,
gonna
no.
give a
We have
Unpresidential.
ended this segment. We're going to move on to the second segment.
That was really a productive segment, wasn't it?
A hot mess.
Keep yapping, man.
The people understand, Joe. 47 years you've done nothing. They understand.
All right.
Keep
The
yapping.
second subject is COVID-19, which is an awfully serious
Oh,
subject.
Lord,
So
where's this going to take us? The baby's
let's
already
try to
on
be
fire
serious
in the
about it. We
dumpster.
have had more than 7 million cases.
What's
of
gonna happen to the
coronavirus
dumpster
in the United
babies,
States,
y'all?
and more than 200,000 people have died. Even after we produce a vaccine, experts say that it could be months or even years before we come back to anything
Lord,
approaching
thank God for all that
normal.
Botox Biden
My
got,
question
y'all.
for both of you is, based on what you have
Could you imagine
said
the wrinkles?
and done so far, and what you have said you would do starting in 2021, why should the American people trust you more than
Lord, it's
your
sad when
opponent
I'm like,
to
Lord,
deal with this
give me
public
George
health
Bush
crisis
back.
going forward?
That's
in
so
this case,
horrible.
the question goes
I
to
want
you
George
first, sir.
back.
2 minutes uninterrupted.
Good luck. 200,000 dead. As you said, over 7 million infected in the United States.
I like that suit, though.
We, in fact, have
That suit looks
5%,
good on you.
4% of the world's
Just don't like the
population, 20% of the deaths. 40,000 people a day are contracting COVID. In addition to that, about between 750 and 1,000 people a day are dying. When he was presented with that number, he said, it is what it is.
He did
Well,
say
it
that,
is what
y'all.
it is because you are who you are. That's why it is. The president has no plan. He hasn't laid out anything. He knew all the way back in February how serious this crisis was. He knew it was a deadly disease. What did he do? He's on tape as acknowledging he knew it. He said he didn't tell us or give people a warning of it because he didn't want to panic the American people. You don't panic. He panicked. In addition to that, what did he do? He went in and we
It's
were
been so
insisting
horrible.
that the
Y'all, it
Chinese,
really
the
has.
people we had on the ground in China should be able to go to Wuhan and determine for themselves how dangerous this was. He did not even ask Xi to do that. He told us what a great job Xi was doing. He said we owe him a debt of gratitude for being so transparent.
And then he
with us.
flip-flopped.
And
This
what
is
did he
what's
do
so
then?
insane.
He then did nothing. He waited and waited and waited. He still doesn't have a plan. I laid out
Sir,
back
it's
in
his 2
March
minutes.
exactly
it's so
what we
wrong.
should be doing. And I laid out again
They
in
have the
July
same teeth,
what we
don't
should be
they?
doing.
Do you think they
We
have the
should be
same
providing
dentist?
all the protective gear possible. We should be providing the money the House has passed.
I think
in order to
RuPaul
be
should have
able to go
moderated.
out and get
Then they could have
people
did a
the
final
help they need
dance
to keep their
off. Could you
businesses
imagine
open,
Trump
open schools?
doing
It
a
costs
dead
lot of
drop?
money. You should get out of
Could
your
you imagine
bunker
Biden
and
doing
get
a
out of
dead
the sand
drop?
trap and get in your golf course and go in the Oval Office and bring together the Democrats and Republicans and fund what needs to be done now to
And then
save
Biden could
lives.
snatch
So
Trump's
if we
wig.
would have listened
Wait,
to
wait, you have 2 minutes, sir.
if we would have listened to you, the country would have been left wide open.
What?
Millions of people.
The country
would have
is
died,
wide
not
open.
200,000, and one person is too
Millions?
much. It's China's fault. It should have never happened.
200
They stopped it from going
Oh, my
in, but it was
God.
China's fault. And by the way, when you talk about numbers, you don't know how many people died in China. You don't know how many people died in Russia. You don't know how many people died in India. They don't exactly give you a straight count, just so you understand. But if you look at what we've done, I closed it, and you said he's xenophobic. He's a racist. And
That
he's
would have been
xenophobic
amazing, Rebel
because you
Girl.
didn't think I
Related
should have
to
closed
your
our country.
COVID.
No,
Wait a
sir,
minute.
It's his 2 minutes.
You didn't think we should have
Don't
closed our
invo-
country
yeah,
because
Biden,
you thought
he
it
let
was
you speak,
too-
let Trump
it was
speak.
terrible. You wouldn't have closed it for another 2 months.
he made
By my
comments,
doing
but-
it early. In fact, Dr. Fauci said President Trump.
Yes,
saved
Daniel,
thousands
I've
of
seen
lives.
that video.
Many of
It's
your Democrat
insane.
governors said.
The
President Trump did a
Trump's
phenomenal
doctor
job.
looks like the guy from Area 51 and Independence Day.
Phenomenal job. Most of them said that. In fact, people that would not be necessarily on my side said that. President Trump did a phenomenal job. We did. We got the gowns. We got the masks. We made the ventilators. You wouldn't have made ventilators. And now we're weeks away from a vaccine.
Why wouldn't
We're
he?
doing therapeutics
Every
already.
president would
Fewer
make
people are
ventilators
dying
if
when
they care
get
about the
sick.
country.
Far fewer people are dying. We've done a great
Oh,
job.
I remember
The only thing
that,
I haven't done a
Stacey.
good job, and
Yeah.
that's because of the
Remember,
fake news.
COVID will go
No matter
away
what
when the
you say
warm
to them,
winter.
they give
I
you
mean, the
bad press.
warm
It's
winter,
fake
the
news.
warm summer
They give you
comes.
good press. They give me bad press.
Oh,
because
you
that's the
make
way
your
it is,
own press,
unfortunately.
Sonny, you're
But let me
lying
just tell you
it.
something. I don't care. I've gotten used to it. But I'll tell you, Joe, you could never have done the job that we did. You don't have it in your blood. You could have never done that job.
I know how to do the job.
He was the vice
I know
president.
how to get the job
Well, you didn't do
done.
very well in swine flu. H1N1, you were a disaster. Your own chief of staff said you were a
14,000
disaster.
14,000 people died, not 200,000. There was
A
no
very-
economic recession.
Sir, you made a
There was-
far
there
less
was
no
lethal
recession.
disease,
You made a
by the way.
point. Let him answer.
And there was no one, we didn't shut
Y'all,
down.
do you remember any of the economy
It's a
shutting
physical
down when
reason.
swine flu happened? Come
The reason it
on.
shut down is because
I mean, if
you
Trump
folks
wants
at
to
home,
make
how many
valid
get up this
points,
morning
why does he have to
and
just
had
say
an empty
crazy
chair at the
stuff?
kitchen table because someone died of COVID? How many of you were in a situation where you lost your mom or dad and you couldn't even speak to them? You had a nurse holding a phone up so you could, in fact, say goodbye.
You would have lost far
How
more
many
people.
That
Far
is-
more people.
No.
You would have been.
And by the way,
No other
your
country
own-
is dealing with the
his
issue
own
the way we
CDC
are.
director says we could lose as many as another 200,000 people between now and the end of the year. And he held up. He said, if we just wear a mask, we can save half those numbers. Just a
Wouldn't even
mask.
tell people to
And by
put a
the way,
mask on,
in terms
Trump.
of the
Wouldn't even tell
whole
people to
notion of
wear a
vaccine,
freaking
we're for a
mask.
vaccine, but I don't trust him at all. Nor do you. I know you don't. What we trust is a scientist.
You don't
we
trust
Dr.
Johnson
Fauci.
& Johnson, Pfizer?
And
Okay,
by the way,
gentlemen,
and
let me move on to questions about the future because you both have touched on two of the questions I'm going to
Well, that
ask.
wasn't a lot better than
Focusing on the future first, President Trump, you have repeatedly either contradicted or been at odds with
Thank
some
you
of your
so much,
government's
Bryant,
own
for
top
the super
scientists.
chat,
The week before
honey.
last, the head of the Centers for Disease Control, Dr. Redfield, said it would be summer before the vaccine would become generally available to the public. You said that he was confused and mistaken. Those were your two words.
Yeah.
But Dr. Slaoui, the head of your Operation Warp Speed,
Dr.
has said
Slaoui.
exactly the same thing. Are they both wrong?
Well, I've spoken to the companies, and we can have it a lot sooner. It's a very political thing because people like this would rather make it
People
political
like
than
this.
save lives. It is a very political thing. I've spoken to
You know, this is what
Pfizer,
I don't
I've spoken-
understand with a lot of people that I know in my family that are Trump supporters. and not just Trump supporters, but, you know, the same type of mindset, I guess. They don't believe the virus, but then they believe that the left wing is keeping the vaccine from coming out to the public, but yet they're anti-vax, yet they think Trump's going to save us with the vaccine, but they don't believe in the virus. It's like, it's too many, it
Said
just
it's a
doesn't make any
possibility that we'll
sense.
have the
Too many
answer
contradictions,
before
honey.
November 1st. It could also
I'm
be
talking about
after
when it's
that.
generally available. not when
Well,
it will
we're
be.
going to deliver it right away. We have the military all set up logistically. They're all set up. We have our military that delivers soldiers, and they can do 200,000
Thank you so much
a
for that
day.
super chat,
They're going
Impeccable
to be
Honey.
This is
delivering
the
the
same
vaccine.
man
It's
who
all
told
set
you
up.
by Easter this would be gone away.
He
By the
did.
warm weather, it'd be gone.
He said
Miraculous,
that.
like a miracle.
Trump, you said
And by
it.
the way, maybe
You
you
said
could
it,
inject some
honey.
bleach in your arm, and that would take care of it. This is the
That
same
was said
man.
Okay.
sarcastically,
That was
and you
him.
know that.
I-
That was
Why
said
would a
sarcastically.
president
here's
say
the
that
deal. This man
sarcastically?
is
Why would
talking
he
about
talk
a
about
vaccine.
using bleach sarcastically?
Every serious.
Why would you
company
get
is
up in
talking
front of
about
millions of
maybe
people and
having
say,
a vaccine
inject bleach
done by the end of the
sarcastically?
year, but the distribution of that vaccine
This isn't
will not
SNL.
occur until sometime beginning or the middle of next year to get it out, if we get the vaccine. And pray God we will. Pray God we will.
Mr. Vice President, I want to pick up, though,
You'll have
on
the
that.
vaccine
I
sooner
want to
than
pick
that.
up on this question, though. You say the public can trust the scientists, but they can't trust President Trump. In fact, you said that again tonight. Your running mate, Senator Harris, goes further, saying the public health experts, quote, will be muzzled, will be suppressed.
Oh, my
Given
God.
the fact that polls
Please get
already
a lint
show
roller for the
that
Chris's
people are
shirt.
concerned about the
Jacket,
vaccine and are
suit,
reluctant to take
whatever.
it, are you and your running mate, Senator Harris, contributing to that fear?
No more than the question you just asked him. You pointed out. He puts pressure and disagrees with his own scientists.
But you're saying
Everybody
you can't, or
knows.
Senator
And
Harris is saying you
no,
can't trust the scientists.
No. You can trust the scientists. She didn't say that. You can't trust.
She said the public health
Did say
experts,
that.
quote, will be muzzled, will be suppressed.
Well, that's what he's going to try to do. But there's millions of scientists, there's thousands of scientists out there, like here at this great hospital, that don't work for him. Their job doesn't depend on him.
Rebel?
They're the people.
You know,
who
we
provide
say
all
that.
the
scientists
We
that
say
are
who would be
in
dumb enough to do it, but people do some crazy things. You know what? They'll do it for free on
In
TikTok
light of all
for
the
the
lies
views.
he's told you about the whole issue
Tide Pod
related to
Challenge.
COVID. He still hasn't even acknowledged that he knew this was happening, knew how dangerous it was going to be back in February, and he didn't even tell you.
I don't do
He's on
bleach, I do
record
Tide
as
Pods,
saying it.
girl.
He panicked, or he just looked at the stock market. One of the
Oh,
two. Because guess
impeccable.
what?
I don't think
A
it's
lot of
just
people
Trump
die,
supporters. There's just
and a lot more are going to die
on
unless he
throughout
gets
the
a lot
spectrum.
smarter,
There
a
is
lot
some
smarter.
crazy people in the
President.
world.
Did you use
Trump
the
or
word
not?
smart? So you said you went to Delaware State, but you forgot the name of your college. You didn't go to Delaware State. You graduated either the lowest or
Where are we
almost the
going
lowest
with
in your
this?
class. Don't ever use the word smart with me. Don't ever
What?
use that word.
Oh, give me a break.
Because you know what? There's nothing smart about
Where-
you. Joe.
where is this
47
guy?
years you've done nothing.
Well, let's have this debate.
And if
We'll
you
see
would have
who's
had, let me just tell you something, Joe.
No,
If you would have had the charge
Oh, I hope he
of what
doesn't
I was
say
put through,
anything
I had
about
to
his
close the
son.
greatest
Oh, I hope he
economy
doesn't
in
go
the
that
history of our
loud.
country. And by the way, now it's being built again.
See, he-
and it's
We're going to
going
get
up
to the
fast.
economy in the next segment, sir.
Okay.
It's going up fast. I look
Okay.
forward to talking
When
about
it comes to how the virus has been handled so far, the two of you have taken very different approaches, and this is
Can
going
we
to
get
affect
somebody to line
how
Chris
the
Wallace's
virus
lips?
is
There's-
handled going
there's
forward
too much-
by whichever of
there's
you
too
ends
much
up becoming the next
foundation on his
president.
lips.
I wanna
It's looking
quickly go
creepy. That
through
bottom
several
lip's
of
kinda
those.
scaring me.
Reopenings.
The bottom
Vice
lip
President Biden, you have
scaring
been much
me.
more reluctant than President Trump
James Charles.
about reopening the economy
James.
and schools. Why, sir?
Because he doesn't have a plan. If I were running, I know what the plan is. You've got to
I like that carpet.
This is the ability to have the money to be able to reopen with the PPE as well as with the sanitation they need. You have to provide
that
them
to Nancy
plastic.
Pelosi.
Well, he's just shush for a minute.
Tell it to
The-
Nancy
the-
Pelosi. And Schumer,
by the
Brian
way,
Chuck.
Nancy Pelosi
Brian
and Schumer,
Chuck.
they have a
Chuck
plan.
Rose. Tell
He
it to
won't
Chuck
even meet
Rose.
with
That'd
them.
be a better one,
The
Trump.
Republicans won't meet with him in the
Okay.
Senate.
Let-
And he sits on his golf course. And, well, I mean, literally, think about it.
You probably play
think
more than
about
I
it.
do, Joe.
What about this question of reopenings and the
Well,
fact
he wants to shut down this country.
I don't even think Biden plays golf.
Wait a minute,
let
Joe.
him
Let me
finish,
shut
sir.
you down for a second, Joe, just for 1 second.
What?
He wants to shut down the country. We just went through it. We had to because we didn't know anything about the disease. Now we found that
We need
elderly
Jeffree
people with
Star,
heart
and we need
problems
James
and
Charles
diabetes and
Stan.
different problems are very, very vulnerable. We learned a lot. Young children aren't. Even younger people aren't. We've learned a lot.
What?
But he wants to shut it down. More people will be hurt.
Young people
by
are getting
continuing. If you
what?
look at
Young people are
Pennsylvania, if you look
dying.
at certain states
Children
that
have
been shut
died.
down. They have Democrat
I
governors.
don't know why
all.
he has to say that.
Because they want to keep it shut down until after the election on
yeah.
November
I wanna
3rd.
move on to another
Because
subject.
it's
Nobody
I wanna
wants to
move on
shut down the
another
economy,
subject.
honey.
But
People
those
just want to do
states-
things safe.
those
People don't want to
states are
die.
not doing well that are shut down
Which is
right
gotta
now.
respond to that.
Wants to
President
shut down
Trump,
the
you
whole
have
country.
begun to increasingly question the effectiveness of masks as a disease preventer.
Thank you,
and in fact,
Chris.
recently you have cited the issue of waiters touching their masks and
That is
touching
so
plates.
weird. I hope
Are
these-
you questioning the
No, I think
It
the
is-
masks are
efficacy of
okay. You have to
masks?
understand, if you look, I mean, I have a mask right here.
Why-
I
Joe, don't
put
pick your
the mask
nose on
it,
TV.
when I think I need it. Tonight, as an example, everybody's had a test, and you've had social distancing and all of the things that you have to, but I
Just
wear
like your
masks
rallies.
when needed. When needed, I wear masks.
Okay, let me ask.
I don't wear masks like him. Every time you see him, he's got a mask. He could
Because he
be
cares
speaking
about other people.
200 feet away
You
from
don't
him,
care
and he
about
shows
other
up with the
people.
biggest
Oh
mask
my
I've ever
God.
seen. I will say, I will say
Vice
this.
President Biden, go ahead, sir.
Trump doesn't care about anybody but himself. Of course, he's not going to wear a
Give them the
mask.
wherewithal to be able to open. We provided money. The Congress.
But I was asking you, sir, about masks.
Well, masks make a big difference. His own head of the CDC said if we just wore masks between now, everybody wore masks and social distance between now and January, we'd probably
Exactly.
save up to
Stevie says he's leading
100,000
by
lives.
example.
It matters.
And they've also
It
said the
matters.
opposite. They've
And
also said the
no
opposite.
serious person said the opposite.
They've
No
also said, well, look
serious.
all right, I
at
wanna
Dr.
ask you-
Fauci. Dr. Fauci said the
He
opposite.
did not
I
say
want to
the
ask you, we
opposite.
got a
said
little
very
bit more than a
strongly,
minute left in this
masks
segment.
are not good. Then he changed his mind. He said masks are good.
I
I'm
wanna
okay
ask-
with masks.
I
I'm
want to
not
ask you
fighting
both about
masks.
one last subject, because your different approaches has even affected the way that you
Daniel, I
have
have no idea,
President
honey.
Trump, you're holding
I
large
don't
rallies
know the
with
question.
crowds packed together,
It's political.
thousands of
Trump,
people.
you know, I think if Trump wouldn't have made the mask thing political, the virus political, it wouldn't have went
Biden,
this
you are
way.
holding
But
much
Trump, for some
smaller,
reason,
events with
decided to make it political.
people with
Well, it's true. Nobody shows up to his rallies.
All right. In any case, why you holding the big rallies? Why you not? You go first.
Tiffany
sir.
was over there having a
Because
giggle,
people
wasn't
want
she?
to hear what I have to say. I mean,
But are you
we've
not
done a
worried
great
about it
job
spreading
as
It's
a
the
president,
same
and I'll have
thing. You
25,
playing the same
35,000 people
DVD every
show
time you get
at
up on
airports.
stage.
We use airports.
Are you
and
not worried
hangars,
about
and we
the
have a
disease
lot of
issues,
people.
sir?
Well, so far we have had no problem whatsoever. It's outside. That's a big difference, according to the experts. And we do them outside. We have tremendous crowds, as you see. I mean, and literally on 24 hours' notice. And Joe does the circles and has 3 people someplace.
Okay.
By the way, did you see
Go ahead, sir.
one of the last big rallies he has? And a reporter came up to him to ask him a question. He said, no, stand back. Put on your mask. Put on a mask. Have you been tested? I'm way far away from those other people. That's what he said. I can't. I'm going to be okay.
All about
He's
him.
not worried about you. He's not worried about the people out there.
Great.
breathing
Listen
one
to
way.
this,
had no
people.
negative
Cheek to jowl.
Listen to this.
No
No
negative effect.
Listen.
We've had no negative
He
effect.
only
And we've had
cares
35,
about
40,000
himself.
people
You wanna-
at any of these rallies.
Just
Yes.
quickly finish up, because I want to move on to our next.
Yes, I would. He's been totally irresponsible the way in which he has handled the social distancing and people wearing masks, basically encouraged them not to.
All right.
He's a fool on this.
If you could get the crowds, you would have done the same thing. But you can't. Nobody cares.
Gentlemen, can we move on
Nobody
to the
cares.
Gentlemen, can we move on to the economy?
Yes.
The economy is, I think it's fair to say, recovering faster than expected from the shutdown.
Much faster.
In the second quarter, the unemployment rate fell to 8.4% last month. The Federal Reserve says the hit to growth, which is going to be there, is not going to be nearly as big as they had expected.
Oh,
President
my
Trump, you
Lord,
say we
please,
are in a
someone line that
V-shaped
lip. Line it,
recovery.
honey.
Vice President Biden, you say
Looks
it's
like he
more
has
of a
no bottom lip,
K-shape.
like somebody ate
What
it.
difference does that mean
Did Ivanka
to
go
the
over there and
American
bite his
people
lip
in terms
off?
of the economy? President Trump, in this segment, you go first.
Oh, my
So we
God,
built
help
the
his
greatest
lips.
economy in history. We closed it down because of the China plague. When the plague came in, we closed
The
it down,
plague.
which was very hard psychologically to do. He didn't think we should close it down, and he was wrong.
He calls
And
it a plague, but then
2
he just
million
says, "Don't
people
wear a
would be dead
mask."
now, instead of still
I think I'd wear a mask
204,000
during the
people is
plague.
too much. One person is too much. Should have never happened
true.
from China. But what happened is we closed it down, and now we're reopening, and we're doing record business. We had 10.4 million people in a 4-month period that we've put back into the workforce. That's a record the
Yeah,
likes
put
of which
Grandma
nobody's
back to
ever seen
work
before.
so we can
and he
get
wants
that
to close down.
Jeffrey
He
Star
will
orgy
shut it down
palette.
again. He will destroy this
Get on
country.
the front
You know, a
lines,
lot of
Grandma.
people, between drugs and alcohol and depression, when you start shutting it down, you take a look at what's happening in some of your Democrat-run states where they have these tough shutdowns. And I'm telling you, it's because they don't want to open it. One of them came out last week. You saw that. Oh, we're going to open up on November 9th. Why November 9th? Because it's after the election. They think they're hurting us by keeping them closed. They're hurting people. People know what to do. They can social distance. They can wash their hands. They can wear masks.
Nobody's
They can do
social
whatever they want.
distancing.
But
Nobody
they
wants
gotta
to wear a
open these states
mask
up. When you
in
look
some
at
of these states.
North Carolina, when you look, and
But
these
you've convinced
governors
them
are
that
under siege.
masks don't do anything,
Pennsylvania,
Trump.
Michigan, and a couple of others. You got to open these states up. It's not fair. You're talking about almost it's like being in prison. And you look at what's going on with
nobody's in
divorce.
prison.
Look at what's going on with alcoholism and drugs. It's a very, very sad thing. And he'll close down the whole country. This guy will close down the whole country and destroy our country. Our country is coming back incredibly
To
well.
me, I mean,
setting
you know, I
records
miss
as it does it.
life.
We don't need
But
somebody to
it's
come
for
in
the
and say,
best.
let's
I
shut
don't,
it down.
you know, I want.
Your 2
I'm
minutes,
old.
sir. We're
You
now
know, I don't
moved
want to
you.
die. I don't want to die at 68.
As I said, posing the question, the president says it's a V-shaped
You know, I
recovery.
think
You
I
say
still
it's a
have some more
K-shaped
life left into
recovery.
me.
What's the difference?
The difference is millionaires and billionaires like him in the middle of the COVID crisis.
Oh, he's not a
have done
millionaire,
very
though.
well.
He's a
Another
negative.
billionaires
negative
have
heir?
made another
What would you-
$300
What would you
billion
call that?
because
He's
of his
in debt.
profligate tax proposal, and he only focused on the market. But you folks at home, you folks living in Scranton and Claymont and all the small towns and working class towns in America, how well are you doing? This guy paid a total of $750
Get
in
him,
taxes.
girl.
Sir, wait, no, sir, it's
It's
just
the wrong state.
Yeah, I understand. You've agreed to the 2 minutes, so please let him have it.
Do I get my time back? The fact is that he has, in fact, worked on this in a way that he's going to be the first president of the United States.
Joe is
to
still
leave
staying
office,
collective.
having fewer
I was so
jobs
scared he was
in
going to
his
shake
administration
him.
than when he became president. Fewer jobs.
But
than when he
Joe
became
is staying
first
on
one in
track.
American history. Secondly, the people who have lost their jobs are those people who have been on the front lines, those people who have been saving our lives, those people who have been out there dying, people who've been putting themselves in the way.
Girls,
to make
if y'all
sure
wouldn't mind
that
liking
we
the
could
video, I
all
forgot to
try
ask
make
y'all
it.
earlier.
And the
I'm
idea
sorry
that
for
he is insisting
asking
that
so
we
late.
go forward and open when you have almost half the states in America with a significant increase in COVID deaths and COVID cases in the United States of America. And he wants to open it up more. Why does he want to open it up? Why doesn't he take care of the America? You can't fix the economy
Casey, I think he
until
is.
you fix the COVID crisis.
It's the way
And he
Trump
has no
portrayed him. He
intention
was
of
going to
doing
come
anything
out
about making
barely able to talk.
people at home
And he's
in terms of your
talking.
health and your safety. Schools. Why aren't schools open?
I gotta admit,
Because
I
it
was
costs
kinda
a lot of
nervous
money to
for
open them
Joe.
safely.
I thought
You know,
maybe he might
they
get
were gonna
nervous
give-
and
his
not do
administration
well,
would give
but
the
he's doing
teachers
pretty
and school
good.
students masks. And then they decided,
Thank you
no,
so much,
couldn't do
BLT,
that because
honey.
it's not a national emergency. Not a national emergency.
everybody.
They've done nothing to help small businesses. Nothing. They're closing. 1 in 6 is now gone.
Same
He
here,
ought to
Teresa.
get
Same
on the
here,
job
honey.
and take care of the needs of the American people so we can open safely.
All right, your time is up, sir. We are going to get to.
I have to respond to that.
Well, you both had 2 minutes, sir.
Excuse me, he made a statement.
So did you.
People
Yeah,
want their
he made a
schools-
statement,
no,
you made a
people want their
statement.
schools open. They don't want to be shut down. They don't want
Chris,
their state shut down.
okay.
They want their restaurants.
Chris is doing a horrible job. Chris, take control. Take control. Because now Biden's going to say, oh, I deserve 2 minutes more. No, that's not how a debate works. Stop. Chris, take control.
Brought back football. By the way, I brought back Big Ten football. It was me, and I'm very happy to do it. And
All right,
people of
Yeah,
Ohio
you
are
did
very
it. Yeah,
proud
you
of me,
played
and
all the
you know how I
all
got
the
that?
positions of
Gentlemen,
football
we're
and
gonna get
everything.
to your economic plans going forward in a moment, but first, Mr. President, as you well know, there's a new report
Chris
that
is
in
doing a horrible
2016,
job.
the year you were elected president, and 2017, your first year as president, that you paid $750 a year in federal income tax each of those years. I know that you pay a lot of other taxes, but I'm asking you the specific question. Is it true that you paid $750 in federal income taxes each of those 2 years?
I paid millions of
I'm
dollars in
shocked.
taxes, millions of dollars.
That the crowd, which he normally, some of this is his people, and they're not clapping.
I paid $38 million one year.
What?
I paid $27 million
Show us your tax
one year.
return.
I went. You'll see it as soon as it's finished. You'll see it. If you
Oh,
want
my
to
God.
go to the Board of Elections. There's a 118-page or so report that says everything I have, every bank I have, I'm totally under-leveraged because the assets are extremely good, and we have I built a great
I'm asking you a specific question, which is...
I've got to laugh
I
because this
understand all
is
of
in
that.
reality.
I understand all of that.
But let me-
No, Mr. President.
Go ahead.
I'm asking you a question. Will you tell us how much you paid
Will you
in
tell us?
federal
Just release
income
your taxes.
in 2016 and
That's all you got to
2017?
do,
millions
honey.
of dollars.
You paid millions of dollars?
Millions of dollars.
So
yes.
not 750?
Millions of dollars, and you'll get to see it. And you'll get to see it.
No, we won't.
But let me just
Inshallah.
tell you, Chris, let me just tell you something, that it was the tax laws. I don't want to pay tax. Before I came here, I was a private developer. I was a private business people. Like every other private person.
Were
unless
you?
they're
Were you a
stupid,
private dancer
they go
too,
through
honey?
the laws, and that's what it is. He passed a tax
Girls,
bill.
I've got to
that
run
gave
to
us
the
all
ladies'
these
room.
privileges for
Y'all watch the
depreciation
stream,
and
okay?
for,
Make sure nothing
tax
crazy
credits.
happens.
We built a
I'll be
building and we
right
get
back,
tax
okay?
credits like
I'll
the
be right
hotel
back.
on Pennsylvania Avenue. You get a
Okay.
massive, which, by the way, was given to me by the Obama administration, if you can believe that. Now, the man got fired right after that happened. But
Vice
that's
President Biden, you want to respond?
Yeah, I do want to respond. Look, the tax code that made him, put him in a position that he pays less tax than a school teacher makes, on the money a school teacher makes, is because of him he says he's smart because he can take advantage of the tax code. And he does take advantage of the tax code. That's why I'm going to eliminate the Trump tax cuts. And I'm going to eliminate those tax cuts and make sure that we invest in the people who, in fact, need the help. People out there need help.
But why didn't you do it over the last 25 years?
Because the president's screwing things up.
You were a senator. And
You're
by
the
way,
worst
you were a
president
vice-
America has ever had.
Hey,
Come
Joe,
on.
let me just tell you, Joe. I've done more in 47 months. I've done more than you've done in 47 years, Joe. We've done things that you never even thought of doing, including
Gentlemen,
fixing the broken military that you gave me, including taking care of your vets.
Mr. President, we're talking about the economy. I'd like to ask you about your plans going forward because, Mr. Vice President, your economic plan, if you were to be elected president, focuses a lot on big government, big taxes, big spending. I want to focus first on the taxes. You propose more than $4 trillion over a decade in new taxes.
Oh, Lord, what I missed. I was going to get a donut, but I was running.
$400,000 a year and
I
on
made chocolate
corporations.
donuts from
President Trump
scratch
says
today.
that kind of an increase in taxes is going to hurt the economy as it's just coming out of a recession.
Well, just take a look at what is the analysis done by Wall Street firms. Points out that my economic plan would create 7 million more jobs than his in 4 years, number one. And number two, it would create an additional $1 trillion in economic growth because it would be about buying American. That we're going to make this federal government spend
What is this
$600
pound
billion
going
a
on
year
with Trump's
everything from
lips?
Ships to steel.
Oh, my
to
Lord,
buildings
Biden's
and the like.
forehead
And
is
under my
actually
proposal,
forming
We're going
wrinkles.
to make sure
What in
that
the world?
every penny of that has to
He
be
must have
made
filler, not
by
Botox.
companies.
It
But
must be
respectfully, sir,
filler.
I'm talking about taxes, not spending.
By the way, I'm going to eliminate a significant number of the tax. I'm going to make the corporate tax 28%. It shouldn't be 21%. You have 91 companies.
Tax Amazon,
in
honey.
Fortune
Tax
500 who
them.
don't pay a single penny in tax, making billions of dollars.
Why didn't you do it
Billions
before
of
when
dollars.
you were vice president with Obama?
Because you, in fact, passed that. That was
Right.
your
I got
tax
it-
proposal.
I got it done. And you know what happened?
you got it
How
done.
can
Economy boomed.
Obama-
It's never boomed.
The economy is
Mr.
busted.
President,
Let me finish.
Mr. President, let me pick up on that. You would continue your free market approach, lower taxes, more
Trickle
deregulation.
down. Ronnie
correct?
Not lower
Reagan.
tax for the American people.
Let me,
Vivian
but
says
in-
Trump
but
trained
in Obama's-
choo-choo.
You talk about the economy booming. It turns out that in
Tax
Obama's
Oprah.
final 3 years as president, more jobs were
I agree,
created,
tax all the
1.5 million
billionaires.
more
Tax
jobs
the rich.
than in the first 3 years of your presidency.
They had the slowest recovery since
Come on,
economic
Oprah,
recovery
Bill
since
Gates.
1929. It was the slowest
Jeff
recovery.
Bezos, Elon
Also,
Musk.
They took over something that was down here. All you had to do is turn on
It's
the lights
time
and you
to
pick up a lot.
pay.
But they had the slowest economic recovery since 1929. Let me tell you about the stock market. When the stock market goes up, that means jobs. It also means 401ks.
Okay, what is going on?
If you ever became president with your ideas, you want to terminate my taxes, I'll tell you what, you'll lose half of the companies that have poured in here will leave, and plenty of companies that are already here, they'll leave for other places. They will leave, and you will have a depression, the likes of which you've never seen.
Look,
Mr.
we
Vice President.
inherited the worst recession short of a depression in American history. I was asked
Thank
to
you
bring
so
it
much,
back.
Kelly,
we
honey.
were able to have an economic recovery that created the jobs you're talking about. We handed him a booming economy. He blew it.
It wasn't
he
booming.
Blew it. He blew
it wasn't booming. It was the weakest recovery
Sir, is it
since
fair to, wait,
1929.
is it fair to say he blew it when, in
When
fact,
COVID came in.
when there was record low unemployment before COVID?
Yeah, but because what he did, even before COVID,
He just carried on with the same.
Manufacturing went in the hole.
Excuse
number
me,
one.
Chris,
Number two.
Chris,
number three.
They said it would take. No, you were number two.
No.
Chris.
Rashad, are you sure you want to hear that,
It would
honey?
take a miracle
Are you
to
sure
bring
you want to
back
hear that,
manufacturing.
Rashad?
I brought back 700,000 jobs. They brought back nothing. They gave up on manufacturing.
We
Part
did
of
not
my
agree.
standard fare.
I'm the guy
He
that brought
totally
back
gave
the
up on
automobile
manufacturing.
industry.
All right, let him.
We brought back, I was asked to bring back Chrysler and General Motors.
You didn't
Brought
bring
them
back
right here in the
Saturn.
state of Ohio and
What
Michigan.
happened to Saturn,
He blew
y'all?
it. They're gone. He blew it.
Saturn's gone.
They're going
Ohio
after
had the best year it's ever had last year. Michigan had the best year they've ever had.
That is not
Many
true.
car companies came in from Germany, from Japan, went to Michigan, went to Ohio.
They're not having
And they
Mr.
didn't
Vice-
come
wait,
in
wait,
with you.
Mr. Vice President, go ahead.
And so you take a look at what he's actually done. He's done.
felt like we
very
jumped
little.
tracks
His
yet
trade
again.
deals are the same way. He talks about these great trade deals. You know, he talks about the art of the deal. China's perfected the art of the steal. We have a higher deficit with China now than we did before. We have the highest trade deficit
China
with
ate
Mexico.
your lunch.
All right, gentlemen,
100%. China ate your lunch, Joe, and no wonder your son goes in and he takes out billions of dollars. Takes out billions of dollars to manage. He makes millions of dollars. And also,
Simply
while we're
not
at it,
true.
why is it, just out of curiosity, the mayor of Moscow's wife gave your son $3.5 million.
Mayor of Moscow's
What did he do
wife?
to deserve it?
That
What
is-
did he do with Burisma
None
to
of that-
deserve
Wait,
$183,000?
None
You've
of
asked
that
your
is
question,
true.
let him answer.
None of that is true. It's
Oh, really?
been
He didn't
totally
get
But no,
$3.5
hey,
million?
Mr. President,
It's
Mr.
totally-
President, please.
totally
ask a question.
discredited. Totally discredited. And by the way,
Well, wait, he didn't get
No, no.
$3.5 million, Joe?
Mr. Vice,
He got
Mr.
$3.5
President,
million.
it is not
Chris,
true.
take.
Mr.
I wish I
President,
could have did
Mr.
this.
you-
I
it's
could have
an open
moderated this
discussion,
from my
please.
house,
You-
y'all,
it's
through
a fact.
Skype.
Well,
There's,
you
it is
have
not.
raised
Give me
an
a
issue, let
switch
the
so I can
Vice
control their
President answer.
minds.
Discredited.
Did
There was a
Burisma pay him
report.
$183,000 a month with no experience in energy?
Mr.
Look,
President,
my son did nothing
Bye,
wrong.
Stacy,
at Burisma,
honey.
I think he did.
and
Mr.
Thanks for
President,
stopping by.
let him answer.
He doesn't want to let me answer because he knows I have the truth. His position has been totally, thoroughly discredited.
who?
And
The media?
By everybody. Well, by the
By the
media,
media,
by our
because they refuse to
allies, by
talk
the
about it
World
because they're
Bank,
embarrassed.
by everyone has discredited. Matter of fact, even
Mr.
the people
President,
who
please stop.
testified under oath.
So let me
under
ask you
oath,
this,
under-
Joe.
under
No, no,
oath.
go ahead, Mr. I'm listening to
Even the
you.
people under,
He got $3.5 million from
testified-
Moscow.
He testified under oath in his administration, said, I did my job and I did it very well.
That's
I
true.
did it
I'd like to know
honorably."
who they are.
Well, I'll give you the list
I'll
of the
fire
people who
them.
testified.
No, go ahead, sir.
Sure, you've already fired most of them because they did a
Some
good
because
job.
some people don't do
well,
a good
here's
job.
The,
With you,
Go
they
ahead.
said-
You got
here's the
the, wait a
deal.
minute.
Oh,
you get the final
honey.
word, Mr.
well, it's hard to get
Rebel
anywhere
honey
with
of
this
the
call.
Pontiac.
Excuse me. This
Hey,
Trans
let me just
Am.
say,
Oh my
no,
God! Did you ever
Mr.
see the leaked
President,
images
I
of the
have
one they
Joe.
were going to put
That is
out
simply-
before
Why did
Not
he
true.
deserve
the
$3.5
economy
million from
collapsed back in the
Moscow?
day? It was
Here's the
gorgeous,
deal.
honey.
We want to talk about families and ethics. I don't want to do that.
Oh, my Lord, I love
mean,
a
his family we
firebird.
could talk about all night.
black
his family's
Trans Am.
already-
My family,
No, let him go.
my family
already
lost
wrote
a
it.
fortune
Oh,
by coming
take
down
me
and
back.
helping us with government.
I want the
That's
same
such a
body
great-
style,
Mr.
Rebel, but I
President,
want
single one of them
interior
was
with
This is not
CarPlay and
about
screen.
my family or his
This is
family.
a
It's about
dumpster
your
fire. The
family.
baby is
The
lost,
American
y'all.
people.
$3.5 million
He
stuff.
doesn't. That's not true. It
Oh, did Chris
doesn't
just
want to talk
him?
about what you need. You, the American people. It's about you. That's what we're talking about
you
here.
should
All right,
Not
that's the, end
about
of
here.
that's the end of the
Shouldn't have
segment.
taken the money.
We're moving on.
He didn't take them.
Well,
Vice
it's a very-
President,
but Chris,
no,
can I be honest? It's a very important
Try to be
question.
honest.
No,
He stood up.
No,
he stood up,
the answer to
and
the
he
question is no.
threatened Ukraine.
No, sir.
With $1 billion. if you
Chris!
got rid of
Is
the
If
Russians.
you know what, you're-
absolutely
wait,
Put
not
some back
true.
into it, honey.
gonna
We need a
have-
drag queen.
Gentlemen.
RuPaul. RuPaul,
I hate to
get
raise
up
my
there.
voice, but
He's
it
on
seems to be, why shouldn't I be different than the two of you? So here's the deal.
point.
We have 6 segments. We have ended. Going to go to the next segment. In that segment, you each are going to have 2 uninterrupted moments. In those 2 uninterrupted minutes, Mr. President, you can say anything you want. I'm going to ask a question about race, but if you want to answer about something else, go ahead. But I think that the country would be better served if we allowed both people to speak with fewer interruptions. I'm appealing to you, sir, to do that.
Well, and him too.
Well, frankly, you've been doing more interrupting
Well, that's
than he
all right,
has.
but he
That's
does
true.
plenty.
Well,
What?
less than, sir, less
there's
than
plenty.
No, less than you have. Let's please continue
I feel
on.
like we're in kindergarten.
The issue of race. Vice President Biden, you say that President Trump's response to the violence in Charlottesville 3 years ago, when he talked about very fine people on both sides, was what directly led you
Look at
to
Tiffany.
launch
Look
this
at
run
Tiffany,
for
y'all.
president.
What is she doing?
President Trump, you have often said that you believe you have done more for black
people.
Americans than any
What'd he
president, with
say?
the possible exception
What'd he
of
say?
Abraham Lincoln. My question for the two of you is, why should voters trust you rather than your opponent to deal with the race issues facing?
Anti-Semitic bile and accompanied by the Ku Klux Klan. A young woman got killed. And they asked the president what he thought. He said there were very fine people on both sides.
sides. What
No
he saying?
president has ever
Finish
said
the
anything
statement.
like that.
Finish the statement.
It is whose
Now,
2
second,
minutes, sir.
second point I'd make to you is that when Floyd was killed, when Mr. Floyd was killed, there was a peaceful protest in front of the White House. What did he do? He came out of his
Gassed 'em.
bunker, had the military
Held the Bible upside
use
down.
tear gas on him, so he could
I'm
walk
fixing the
across
stream,
to a
everybody. I
church
just
and
swapped
hold
to
up a
another
Bible.
server. I think
And then
it'll be more
what happened
stable.
after that? The bishop of that very church said that it was a disgrace. The general who was with him said all
Shouldn't
he
have done it.
ever wants to do is divide people, not unite people at all. This is a president who has used everything as a dog whistle to try to generate racist hatred, racist division. This is a man who, in fact, you talk about helping African Americans. 1 in 1,000 African Americans has been killed because of the coronavirus. And if he doesn't do something quickly, by the end of the year, 1 in 500 will have been killed. 1 in 500 African Americans. This man is a savior of African Americans. This man cares at all. This man's done virtually nothing. Look, the fact is that you have to look at what he
Okay, I
talks
think that
about.
statistic-
You have to look at what he did, and what he did
1 in
has been
5,000. Is that what he's
disastrous for the
saying? Or I
African
think he meant
American
1 in 5, right?
So-
I think that's what he
President
meant.
Trump, you have 2 minutes. Why should Americans trust you over your opponent to deal with
He
racism?
did a crime bill, 1994, where you call them super predators, African Americans, the super predators, and they've never forgotten it. They've never forgotten it.
Hillary
Joe.
Clinton
No,
said
sir,
that.
it's his 2 minutes.
So you did that, and they call you a super predator, and I'm letting people out of jail now that you have treated the African American population community, you have treated the black community about as bad as anybody in this country. You did the 1990, and that's why, if you look at the polls, I'm doing better than any Republican has done in a long time, because they saw what you did. You call them super predators, and you've called them worse than that, because you look back at your testimony over the years, you've called them a lot worse than that. As far as the church is concerned, and as far as the generals are concerned, we just got the support of 250 military leaders
I thought you
and
were supposed to say
generals.
250
Total
million. I was
support.
about to say,
Law
what?
enforcement, almost every law enforcement group in the United States. I have Florida, I have Texas, I have Ohio, I have Portland. The sheriff just came out today and he said, I support
Hello, Kim,
President
honey.
Trump. I don't think you have any law enforcement. You can't even say the word law enforcement, because if you say
What?
those words, you're going to lose all of your radical left supporters.
Oh, my
And why
gosh.
aren't you saying those words, Joe? Why don't you say the words law enforcement? Because
He
you know what? If
does.
they called us in Portland,
Why
we
does
would
that
put out that
anti-law
fire in a half
enforcement?
an hour, but they won't do it because they're run by
my
radical
God.
left Democrats. If you look at
Insane.
Chicago, if you look at any place you want to look, Seattle, they heard we were coming in the following day, and they put up their hands, and we got back Seattle. Minneapolis, we got it back, Joe.
Got it
because
back? It
we
was
believe
that-
in
what
law
is-
and order, but you don't.
I have friends
The
that live in
top 10
Seattle.
cities and just about the top
Seattle
40
Coffee
cities
Company, they were
are
open the
run
other
by
day. It
Democrats
wasn't
and in
shut
many
down. I
cases,
can promise
radical
you
left.
the-
And
the
they've got you
place
wrapped
isn't
around
on
their
fire.
finger, Joe, to a point where you don't want to say
Lord, these are
anything
like
about law
crazy
and order.
people that believe
And I'll tell you what,
him.
the people of this country want and demand
Almost
law
all
and
these
order, and
protests
you're afraid
have
to
been
even say it.
peaceful.
All right. I
say
want to return to the question of race. Vice President Biden, after the grand
Look at
jury in the
Biden's
Breonna Taylor case decided not to charge any of the
Hello,
police
Kathleen, honey.
with
Hello,
homicide, you said
Jerry.
it raises the question, quote, whether justice could be equally applied in America. Do you believe that there is a separate but unequal system of justice for blacks in this country?
Yes, there is. There's systemic injustice in this country, in education and work and in law enforcement and the way in which it's enforced. But look, the vast majority of police officers are good, decent, honorable men and women. They risk their lives every day to take care of us. But there are some bad apples. And when they occur, when they find them, they have to be sorted out. They have to be held accountable. They have to be held accountable.
That's all that people are asking is just for law enforcement to be held accountable also. That's it.
An entire group of people at the White House.
You speak to someone with a bad tone and you work at Walmart, you're going to get fired.
We're going to work this out. We're going to work this out so we change the way in which we have more transparency and when these things happen. These cops aren't happy to see what happened to George Floyd. These
I know a lot of
cops aren't happy to see what happened to Breonna Taylor. Most don't like it. But we have to have a system where people are held accountable.
Exactly.
And by the way, violence in response is never appropriate. Never appropriate. Peaceful protest is. Violence is never appropriate.
All right.
What is peaceful protest? When they run through the middle of a town and burn down your stores and kill people all over the place?
That is not
Oh, my Lord. Dramatic.
President Trump, I'd like to continue the issue of race. I promise we're going to get to the issue of law and order in a moment.
Like that Paris Hilton documentary, y'all.
Your administration directed federal agencies to end racial sensitivity training that addresses white privilege or critical race theory. Why did you decide to do that, to end racial sensitivity training? And do you believe that there is systemic racism in this country, sir?
I ended it because it's racist. I ended it because a lot of people were complaining that they were asked to do things that were absolutely insane, that it was a radical revolution that was taking place in our military, in our schools, all over the place, and you know it, and so does everybody else. And he would know.
What is radical about racial sensitivity training, sir?
If you were a certain person, you had no status in life. It was sort of a reversal.
What?
And if you look at the people, we were paying people hundreds of thousands of dollars to teach very bad ideas and, frankly, very sick ideas.
Does anybody have any idea what he's talking
To
about?
hate our country. And I'm not going to do that.
Teaching people
I'm
to
not gonna
hate
allow
our
that to happen.
country?
We have to go back to the core values of this country. They were teaching people that our country is a horrible place, it's a racist place, and they were teaching people to hate our country. And I'm not going to allow that to happen.
Vice President Biden?
Nobody's doing that. He's
What?
he's racist.
You just don't know.
Here's the deal. I know a lot more about this than he does.
Get him, girl. Get him,
The fact is
girl.
that
Get him,
There
honey.
is
Find him in
racial
his
insensitivity.
place.
People have to be made aware.
Why didn't Trump say, I'm
of
not a
what other people
racist?
feel
Why did
like,
Trump not? Trump never
what
once said, I'm
insults
not a
them, what is
racist. How dare
demeaning to
you?
them.
Someone called
It's
me
important that
racist. I'd
people
be
know
like,
they
how
don't
dare
want
you?
that.
I'd go
Many
off
people
on
don't
him.
wanna hurt other
Trump
people's
gets called a
feelings, but
racist, doesn't say
it
anything
makes a big
about it.
difference.
Has
It makes a
words for
gigantic
everything
difference
else.
in the way a
You know,
child
everything else
is able
Trump
to
has
grow
said
up and
something.
have a sense of self-esteem. It's a little
Everything
bit
else
like
Trump
how
has made a
this
comeback.
guy and
No
his
comeback
friends
for
look
I'm not a
down on so many
racist.
people. They look down their
Really?
nose on people like Irish Catholics like me and grew up in Scranton. They look down on people who don't have money. They look down on people who are of a different faith. They look down on people who are a different color. In fact, we're all Americans. The only way we're going to bring this country together is bring everybody together. There's nothing we cannot do if we do it together. We can take this on and we can defeat racism in America.
President Trump, sir.
During the Obama-Biden administration, there was tremendous division. There was hatred. You look at Ferguson.
I don't
you look at
remember
you
it
go to
ever being like
many
this.
places. Look at
There
Oakland.
was
Look
there
what
was
happened in
issues.
Oakland. Look
There
what
were
happened in
issues,
Baltimore.
but
Look
I
what
don't
happened
never remember
frankly,
it being
it was
this
more
bad.
violent than what I'm even seeing now.
Oh, my
but the
Lord.
reason
This
is
is
that
ridiculous.
the Democrats that run these
Absolutely
cities
ridiculous.
don't want to talk like you
No,
about
no
law and
president
order.
has
Violent
ever,
crime.
Republican or Democrat,
Are
has
you in
never
favor of law and
famed
order?
the
I'm
flames
in favor
of
of
Nazi.
law. You followed
Are you
it
in
and a little
favor
bit
of
of
law
order.
and order? Go
Yes,
ahead,
I'm
say
in
it.
favor.
You
Everybody's
asked a
in favor
question,
of
let him finish.
Law and order.
Lose his
Law
left.
and
Let
order.
him, let him answer.
Law and order with justice, where people get treated fairly.
Justice.
And the fact of the matter is,
Fairly.
violent crime went down 17%, 15% in our administration.
All right.
It's gone up on his watch.
Went down
He-
much more. more
he
in
had-
ours.
All right, we're
He
now,
is president of
Mr.
the
President,
United
you're going
States
to,
of America.
Mr. President,
China.
Mr.
Did you hear
President,
how
you're
he
gonna be very
said it?
happy because we're now
China.
going to talk about law and order.
Places we had trouble were Democratic-run cities.
That's
and
exactly
states.
my question.
Democratic-
There has been a dramatic increase in homicides in America this summer particularly, and you often blame that on Democratic
Kathleen,
mayors
honey, you
and
got to
Democratic
vote.
governors,
We got
but
to
in fact,
vote,
there have
John.
been
We've got to
equivalent
vote like we
spikes
never voted before.
in Republican-led cities
Vote
like
it.
Tulsa and
Imagine
Fort
if everybody,
Worth.
like everybody
So
that went and got
question
the
is
James
this
Charles
really a
palette
party
or
issue?
the orgy palette.
I think
they'd
it's a
vote.
party issue. You can bring in a couple of examples, but if you look at Chicago, what's going on in Chicago, where 53 people were
A lot of my
shot
listeners
and
live in
8 died
Chicago.
shot. If you look at New York, where it's going up like nobody's ever seen anything, the numbers
York,
are going up
have friends in New York.
200%. Crime. It
Republican
is
cities.
crazy what's going on. And he doesn't want to say law and order because he can't, because he'll lose his radical left supporters.
He
and
just
once
said
he does
law
that,
and
it's over
order.
with. But if
What are
he
you
ever
talking
got
about, the
to
TV
run this
show?
country,
This is
and
law
they
and
ran it
order.
the way he would want to run it, we would have
We would
our
run it
suburbs
the
would
way-
be
The
gone.
da- da-
By the way,
young-
our suburbs would be gone.
Oh,
And
the
you would see
sub.
problems like you've never seen.
That's code for the
Suburb
white
unless he
people.
took a wrong turn.
No suburbs.
He would not.
Suburbs
I was
are-
raised,
Go ahead, wait a minute.
I was raised in the suburbs. This is not 1950.
Oh,
All
I
these
fell
dog whistles
out.
and racism
I
don't work
fell
anymore.
out. I
Suburbs
fell
are by and
out.
large integrated. There's many people today driving their kids to soccer practice and/or to black and white and Hispanic in the same car
Oh, my
as there have
God.
been any time in the
Oh, I
past.
fell out.
What really is a threat
That was a
to
good
the
comeback,
suburbs and their
Joe.
safety is his failure to deal with COVID. They're dying in the suburbs. His failure to deal with the environment.
Oh,
They're
my
being
God.
flooded. They're being burned out because his refusal to do anything. That's why the suburbs.
I expected
I want to talk about this issue of
a
law and
comeback
order, though, and
like that. I expect normally that from Trump. It's like Biden is like the best of both worlds.
you talked about, quote, reimagining policing. First of all, what does reimagining policing mean, and do you support?
It means
Let me, if I might finish the question.
Exactly,
What does reimagining
Tremaine. Sleepy
policing
Joe's
mean,
awake
and
tonight,
do you
ain't he?
support the Black Lives Matter call for
What's
for
going on with
community
his
control of
jacket? It was like
policing?
riding up his back.
what I support is the police having the opportunity to deal with the problems they face. And I'm totally opposed to defunding the police offices. As a matter of fact, local police, the only one defunding it, his budget calls for a $400 million cut in local law enforcement assistance. They need more assistance. They need, when they show up for a 9/11 call, to have someone with them as a psychologist or psychiatrist to keep them from having to use force and be able to talk people down. We have to have community policing like we had before, where the officers get to know the people in the community.
Everybody, if you wouldn't mind, make sure you're liking this video. I see we bumped up an extra 20 viewers. If you wouldn't mind, of course.
That's not what
That's
he's talking
exactly-
about
Smash
defunding
that
the
like
police.
That
button.
is not true.
He doesn't have any law.
All my
Well,
Trump
you-
supporters,
He has
smash
no
that like
law
button.
enforcement
That's not
support.
true.
All my
Almost,
Biden
that's not-
supporters, smash
look,
that
Oh,
like
who do you have?
button.
Name one group that supports you. Name one group
Playing
that came
both
out and
fields.
supported you. Go
Look,
ahead.
look.
Think. We have time.
We don't have time to do
No,
anything.
think
except
about
listen.
it.
Look,
Name
folks,
one law
folks,
enforcement group that came out and
I
supported
think, gentlemen,
you,
I think
Joe.
I'm going to take back the
There aren't.
moderator's
I don't
role,
think there
and
are any.
I want to get to another subject, which is the issue of protests in many cities that have turned violent. In Portland, Oregon, especially, we had more than 100 straight days of protests, which I think you would agree. You talked about peaceful
thank you so
protests.
much, Hooligan.
Many of those turned into riots.
All
Which
the Debra
President,
supporters hit that like button.
you say
that too, I didn't
people
think
who
about
commit
that, girl.
crimes should be held accountable. The question I have, though, is as the Democratic nominee, and earlier tonight you said that you are the Democratic Party right now, have you ever called the Democratic mayor of Portland or the Democratic governor of Oregon and said, hey, you got to stop this, bring in the National Guard, do whatever it takes, but you stop the
What does that mean?
days
Do
and
whatever it
months of
takes? Does that
violence
mean hurt
in Portland?
everybody?
I don't hold public office now. I am a former vice president. I've made it clear in my public statements that the violence should be prosecuted. It should be prosecuted.
They're
Anyone who
acting like
commits
he's
it-
the
But you've never called
president.
for the people,
And Trump's running against
Excuse me,
him.
sir. You had never called for the leaders in Portland and in Oregon to call
Because
bring
they-
in the National Guard and not
Oregon.
100 days of riots.
They can, in
Oregon.
fact, take care of it if you just stay out of the way.
Oregon.
Look here.
Oh, really?
Here,
Oh, really?
here's the thing.
I sent in the
wait, I
U.S.
asked him a
Marshals to
question.
get the killer of the young man in the middle of the street. They shot him, and for 3 days,
President Trump,
Portland
President
wouldn't do
Trump,
anything. I
please
had to send in
interrupt-
the U.S. Marshals.
President
They
Trump,
took care of business.
Go ahead,
It's
sir.
And by
jumped.
the
It
way,
really has jumped.
You know, his own former spokesperson said,
Thank you so much for that
riots
super
and
chat,
chaos
Tremaine.
and
Thank you so
violence
much.
help us
Biden
cause.
Harris 2020.
That's what
Love
this
you,
is all
Deborah.
about.
Glad to be watching this
I
with
do.
you. Thank you so much, honey.
I think Kellyanne Conway.
I don't think she said.
She said that. And so here's the
All right.
But here's the point.
Go
The
ahead,
point
sir.
is that that's what he is, keeps trying to rile everything up. He doesn't want to calm things down. Instead of going in and talking to people and saying, let's get everybody together, figure out how to deal with this. What's he do? He just pours gasoline in the fire.
I don't understand that about
constantly,
Trump.
at
Why
every
won't he
single
just try to get
solitary
people to
time.
come
and
together?
To end this, button up this segment, I'm going to give you a minute to answer, sir. You have repeatedly
Well, wait, I
criticized.
have to answer his
No,
statement.
you have
His statement.
repeatedly.
Wait,
you have
just one
no.
second.
You've been talking
He
back
made
and
a
forth.
statement.
I'm asking you.
I would
no,
love to
you know,
end it.
sir.
I would love to end it.
Get him,
you know, if
honey.
you want to switch seats?
We would very quickly.
We could do that, but
I'd
I'm
send
no,
in
I'm-
the National Guard.
Take
It would be
it
over. There'd be
now.
no problem.
Okay,
But they
good.
don't want to accept the National Guard.
You have repeatedly criticized the vice president for not specifically calling out Antifa and
Trump's
other
just not
left-wing
looking
extremist
good in
groups.
this. He really
but are
isn't.
you willing tonight to condemn white supremacists and militia groups and to say that they need to stand down and not add to the violence in
fire.
a number of these cities, as we
Exactly.
saw in Kenosha and as we've seen in Portland?
Sure,
are you
I'm willing
prepared
to do that,
specifically
but
Do it.
Well,
I
go
would
ahead,
say
sir.
I would say almost everything I see is from the left wing, not from the right wing.
what are you-
If
what are you saying?
I'm willing to do anything. I want to see
Well,
peace.
then do it, sir.
Say it. Do it. Say it.
Do you want to call him? What do you want to call him? Give me a name. Give me a
White
name. Go ahead.
supremacists and
Who would
white
you like me to
supremacists.
condemn?
White
Proud Boys.
supremacists and right-wing
Proud
militia.
Boys, stand back and stand by. But I'll tell you what.
Stand
I'll
back
tell you
and
what,
stand by.
Somebody's got to do something about Antifa and the
What?
left, because this is not a right-wing
His own-
problem.
Stand
This is
back,
a left
stand back.
This is a left-wing
In the
problem.
middle of my room, I did
Antifa's an
not
idea,
hear
not an
from
organization.
You gotta be
not
kidding.
militia. That's what
Oh, really?
his
It's an idea.
FBI,
Okay.
FBI director
Gentlemen,
said.
Well,
we're
then
gonna-
you know what?
No,
He's
no, we're
wrong.
done. We're done, sir. We're moving on to the next.
Everybody
We're
gives
moving.
you
Bat
advice
hits
in
you
your
over the head, that's
administration.
not an idea.
Everybody in
Antifa
your
is bad.
administration tells you the truth has a bad idea.
Can I tell you what?
You have no ideas. that are
Antifa is a dangerous
All right,
radical
gentlemen, we're
group.
now moving on to the
This
Trump
is
and
out.
Biden
Careful
records.
with them.
Oh
They'll
my
overthrow you.
God!
When a president-
I want
I'm
off
gonna
this
ask a question.
train.
When the president seeks a second term,
I'm sorry. When he said, when a bat hits you in the head, it's not a bad idea, I pictured a bat, like a flying bat, just hitting you in the head.
to the alternative.
Ah,
And
bad
this
hit me
case,
in my
sir,
head.
You are the alternative. Looking at
I
both
just
of your
picture
records,
bats
I'm
hitting
going to
people in
ask
the
each of
head.
you, why should
Wah, wah,
voters
well, that
elect
doesn't
you
make that kind of
president
sound, does
over
it?
your opponent
Wah,
in this
wah.
segment? President Trump, you go first. 2 minutes.
Oh my God, a bat's
Because
hitting my
there has
head.
never been an administration
Oh,
or
Lord.
president who has done
the
more
mess.
than I've done in a period of 3.5 years. And that's despite the impeachment hoax. And you saw what happened today with Hillary Clinton, where it was a whole big con job. But despite going through all of these
What
things,
happened
where I
today
had to
with
fight
Hillary?
both flanks and behind me and above.
Hillary's not in
there
office.
has never been an
You
administration
won.
that's done what I've done.
You are the
greatest
president.
Before COVID came in, the
As much
greatest
as
economy
people
in
might not
history,
want to
lowest
believe it, Trump
unemployment
is the
numbers.
president.
Everything was good. Everything
But he
was
can't
going.
take
And by the
any
way,
blame.
there was unity going to happen. People were calling me for the first time in years. They were calling.
Thank you
and they
so
were saying,
much,
"It's time, maybe," and then-
Carrie Walker. Thank you so much for that super chat, honey. Deborah, you are making this much more enjoyable. I always enjoy your content. Thank you so much, honey. Thank you so much.
It
Mwah.
was a mess under him. 308,000 people died because they didn't have proper health care. It was a mess. And we
Tremaine,
now got a 91% approval rating at the VA, our vets. We take
he
care of our
told the
vets.
Proud Boys
But
to
we've
stand by.
rebuilt
He
our
said,
military.
stand back
The
and
job
stand
that
by.
we've done, and I'll tell you something, some people say maybe the most
Listen,
important.
the
By the
dumpster,
end of the
we have a
first term,
dumpster that's
I'll
on
have
fire, but it also has
approximately
babies in
300
it.
Federal judges
And
and
it's
Court
got
of
a black
Appeals judges,
hole in it.
300,
It is
and
about to
hopefully
collapse.
3 great Supreme Court judges, justices.
over with.
That is a record, the likes of which very few people, and you know one of the reasons I'll have so many judges? Because President Obama and him left me 128 judges to fill. When you leave office, you don't
Mitch
leave
McConnell
any
wouldn't
judges.
fill 'em.
That's like you
Mitch
just don't
McConnell
do that.
wouldn't fill
They left
'em.
128
They didn't have the
openings,
Senate.
and if I were a member of his party, because they have a little different philosophy. I'd say if you left us 128 openings, you can't be a good president. You can't be a good vice president.
Does he not know
But I
how
wanna thank
government
you
works?
because it gives us almost, it'll probably be above that number by the end of this term. 300 judges. It's a record.
Wonderful.
Looking at both your records,
Mitch McConnell,
why should
let
voters
the state-
elect you
the seat
president
stay
as
empty until
opposed
you
to
got in,
President Trump?
honey.
You have 2 minutes uninterrupted.
Under this president, we become weaker, sicker, poorer, more divided, and more violent. When I was vice president, we inherited a recession.
Hashtag make
I was
Debra
asked
a
to fix it.
billionaire.
I did. We left him a booming economy, and he caused the recession.
But Joe
With
wasn't
regard
president.
to
What do you mean
being
you were
weaker.
asked to fix it?
The
I'm sorry,
fact is
Obama was
that
president,
I've
Joe,
gone
not
head
you.
to head with Putin and made it clear to him we're not going to take any of his stuff. He's Putin's puppy. He still refuses to even say anything to Putin about the bounty on the
get
heads
him,
of
girl.
American soldiers.
You still got
Get-
$3.5 million.
That's right.
Mi-
And
Mr.
by the way,
President,
my son.
wait a minute. Mr. President, your campaign agreed to both sides would get 2-minute answers uninterrupted. Well, your side agreed to it, and
Kick
why
him
don't you
off.
observe
Kick
what your
him off
campaign
and give
agreed to
Biden
as
the
a ground
rest.
rule,
That would
okay,
make
sir?
good TV,
Never teach his
right?
word. Can you add back
Like the video.
That was a
If you think
rhetorical
that'd make good
question.
TV.
Go ahead,
back
sir.
30 seconds?
Yeah,
Okay.
yes, you may have.
All right.
Go
Kick
ahead.
Trump off. Say you're fired. Oh my God, Chris. If Chris said you're fired, I'd fall out. I would fall out. I would fall
By a tune
out.
of over $300 to $400 billion more just since COVID. You in the home, you got less. You're in more trouble than you were before. In terms of being more violent,
Trump's
when we were in
tan.
office, there were 15%
When Trump
less
started, his
violence
tan
in
looked
America
good.
than there is today.
But it's
He's
liquefying
President of the United
and
States.
rolling off his
It's on
face.
his watch. And with regard to more divided, the nation can't stay divided. We can't be this way. And speaking of my son, the way you talk about the military, the way you talk about them being losers and being and just being suckers. My son was in Iraq.
He should say,
spent
look
a
at
year
me.
there.
Look at me when I'm
He
talking
got
to you.
he
Look
got the
in
Bronze
my
Star.
eyes.
He got the Conspicuous Service Medal.
He got a Bronze
was
Star.
not
You got a porn
loser.
star.
He was a patriot, and the people left behind there were heroes.
Oh, really?
And I resent.
Are you talking
like
about
hell.
Hunter? Are you talking about
I'm
Hunter?
talking about my son, Bo Biden. You're
I
talking
don't
about.
know. I don't know, Bo. I know Hunter.
Yeah, you
Hunter
know
got
Bo.
thrown. Hunter got thrown out of the military. He was thrown out, dishonorably discharged.
That's not true. He
For
wasn't dishonorably
cocaine
discharged.
use, and he didn't have a job until you became vice president. Once you
None of
became
that
vice
is
president,
true.
he made a fortune in Ukraine, in China, in Moscow,
That is simply
and various
not
other places.
true.
He
My
made
son-
a fortune,
My son.
and he didn't have a job.
My son, like a lot of people we know at home, had a drug problem. He's overtaken it. He's fixed it. He's worked on it, and I'm proud of him.
But why was
I'm
he
proud of
given
my
tens
son.
of millions
All
of
right.
But he
dollars?
wasn't given
All right.
tens
Oh, this
of
ain't gonna
millions.
bode well
That
for
is
Trump.
Totally, that's
President
totally
He shouldn't have did that.
discredited.
You've already been
Totally.
Drug abuse touches every person in this country somehow in their family. Red, white, blue, every party.
Somebody
here.
gets $3.5 million
Okay,
from
great.
the
Let's
mayor
talk
of
about-
Moscow.
let's
That
talk
is
about-
not
I think
true.
it's a terrible
That
thing.
report is totally
Why did he get
discredited.
it?
I
Mitt
think,
Romney on that committee said it wasn't worth taxpayers' money, that report. It was written for political reasons.
you know, I'd like to talk about climate change.
So would I.
I thought
Okay.
they weren't talking about
The
climate
forest
change. Now
fires
they
in the
are.
West are raging now.
What?
They have burned millions
They
of
said
acres.
before they weren't doing
They
climate,
have
so that's
displaced
good.
hundreds of thousands of people.
Hello, Mondo, honey.
When state officials there blame the
Doing
fires
well
on
tonight.
climate
How are
change,
you
Mr.
doing?
President, you said, I don't think the science knows. Over your 4 years, you have pulled the U.S. out of the Paris Climate Accord.
What is going on with that
You have
eagle?
rolled back a
That's
number
an
of
evil-looking
Obama
eagle,
environmental
isn't it?
records.
I'm sorry. I love the country and I love our eagle, but my God, that eagle! If I seen that American eagle try to come down and land, I'm sorry. If it's endangered, I'm throwing a rock at it. I'm going to spray it with roach sprayer.
Was carbon. If you look at our numbers right now, we are doing phenomenally. But I haven't destroyed our businesses. Our businesses aren't put out of commission. If you look at the Paris Accord,
That's
it was a
right,
disaster
Tremaine.
from
Trump
our
said, "Rake the
standpoint.
leaves
people
and
are
watch out for
actually
exploding
very happy
trees."
about what's going on because our businesses are doing well. As far as the fires are concerned,
Could you imagine walking in like the redwood forest and then the trees start exploding? Ah! Get away from me! Where's Smokey the Bear when you need him?
the cigarette in there, the whole forest burns down. You've got to have forest management.
What do you
You've got to have
believe?
Gender
What do you believe
reveal.
about the science of climate change? Sir?
I believe that we have to do everything we can to have immaculate air, immaculate water, and do whatever else we can. That's good. You know, we're planting a
Immaculate
billion
Collection.
trees, the
That's a
billion tree
Madonna
project,
album, y'all.
and it's very
You
exciting
believe
for a lot of people.
that human pollution, greenhouse gas emissions contributes to the global warming of
I
this
think
planet?
a lot of things do, but I think to an extent,
Oh, he
yes.
never
I
can
think
just
to an extent,
answer
yes,
it.
but I
Just-
also
just
think
say
we have
yes.
to do better management of our
His
forests.
base will
Every
believe whatever he
year,
believes.
I
So
get the
just,
call,
if you believe it,
California's
say
burning.
it.
California's burning. If that was cleaned, if that
Beer and
were,
popcorn,
if you
Mondo,
had
that
forest
sounds
management,
tasty.
good forest management, you wouldn't be getting those calls. You know, in Europe, they have forest cities. They're called forest cities. They maintain their forests. They manage their forests. I was with the head of a major country. It's a forest city. He said, "Sir, we have trees that are far
Didn't
more,
happen
they
when he
ignite
does
much
this.
easier than
That
California.
didn't happen.
There shouldn't be that problem." I spoke with the governor about it. I'm
They
getting
just
along very well
randomly
with the governor.
borrowed.
But I said, you know, at some point, you can't every year have
Cut down
hundreds
your
of thousands
trees.
of acres of land just burnt.
You heard it here first from Debra. Cut down your trees because the trees are out to kill us. Just like that movie. Y'all remember that movie that
Clean power plan which limited
what's the name of that movie, y'all, where the trees kill the people?
Because it was driving energy prices.
The trees
through
are trying to
Why
kill
have
us.
you relaxed
Cut them
fuel
down. They're
economy
going to explode.
standards that are going to
Jihad
create
trees.
more pollution from cars
Well,
and
not
trucks?
really, because what's happening
Night
is the car is
Shyamalan.
much less expensive.
He
and
was
it's a
right
much
all
safer
along.
car. And you're talking about a tiny difference. And then what would happen, because of the cost of the car, you would have
GTA
at least
Forest City,
double
Christian
and
saying.
triple the number of cars purchased. We have the old slugs out there that are 10, 12 years old. If you did that, the car would be safer. It would be much cheaper by
But in the case of
$3,500.
California, they've simply
No, but you
ignored
would take
your
a lot of cars
roadmap.
off the market because people would be able to afford a car. Now, and by
Thank
the
you
way, we're gonna
so
see how
much,
that turns
Jerry
out. But a
Blank,
lot of people agree
honey.
with me,
Thank
many
you.
people. The
Jerry
car
says,
has gotten
everyone
so
vote.
expensive
Love you,
because they have
Debra.
computers
Thank
all
you
over
so
the
much
place
for that super
an
chat,
extra
honey.
little
Mwah.
bit
Love you,
of
honey.
gasoline. And
Mwah.
I'm okay with electric cars, too. I think I'm all for electric cars. I've given big incentives for electric cars.
What?
But what they've done in California is just
And
crazy.
see, the incentives
Vice
were already in
President Biden, I'd
place
like
when
you
you were in
to respond
office.
to the
And you're letting him
president's climate
expire. Isn't
change
Trump
record,
letting
but
him
I also wanna
expire?
ask
I
you
think he is.
About a concern. You proposed $2 trillion in green jobs. You talk about new limits, not abolishing, but new limits on fracking, ending the use of fossil fuels to generate
Yeah, I just want
electricity
you
by
to
2035.
dump water inside
and
my
zero
land
net
and crack
emission
the
of
earth
greenhouse
and get
gases
that
by
oil and gas.
2050. The president says a lot of these things would tank the economy and cost millions of jobs.
He's absolutely wrong, number one. Number two, if in fact, during our administration, the Recovery Act, I was in charge, able to bring down the cost of renewable energy to cheaper than or as cheap as coal and gas and oil. Nobody's going to build another coal-fired plant in America. No one's going to build another
all
oil-fired plant in
tech.
America.
It's just all
They're gonna
tech.
move to
Things
renewable energy,
change.
number one. Number
Technologies
two, we're going to make
change.
sure that we are able to take the federal fleet and turn it into a fleet that's run on their electric vehicles.
Nothing's
Making sure
made
we
out
can
of
do that.
bronze
We're gonna put
anymore.
500,000
It
charging
changed.
stations
That's
on all of the
okay.
highways that we're going to be building in the future. We're going to build an economy that, in fact, is going to provide for
Coal is the
ability
future,
of
just
us
like
to take 4
Blockbuster's the
million
future.
buildings and make sure that they, in fact,
Blockbuster's
are
coming back.
weatherized in a way that, in fact, they'll emit significantly less gas and oil because the heat will not
Yeah,
be going
Trump's
out.
getting
There's so
Trump's getting a little peppy. Look at him. He's starting to move. He's starting to move. He's about to get peppy. I can feel it.
net
It's getting peppy.
zero
Here
in
we
terms
go.
of energy.
The Zune's coming back. Daniel and Zunes, you're right.
Not only
The
not
Zune
costing
is the
people jobs,
future.
creating jobs.
I'm going to
creating
take my
millions of
truck
good
and my
paying
Zune
jobs.
and go
Not
out to the
$15 an hour,
coil,
but
the coil,
prevailing
the
wage
coal field.
by having a new infrastructure
get
that
my
in fact
Blockbuster
is
movie.
green. And the first thing I will do, I will rejoin the Paris Accord. I will join the Paris Accord because with us out of it, look what's happening.
Ain't
It's
no wrinkles
all
on that
falling apart.
face.
And talk about
Biden's got
someone who
some
has
good filler.
no relationship with foreign policy. Brazil.
Can
the
someone give me this
rainforests of
filler,
Brazil are
y'all?
being
I just want a
torn
little
down,
bit
are
on
being
my
ripped down.
folds. Look at that.
More carbon is absorbed in
I
that
gotta get these
rainforest
filmed.
than
Look
every
at
bit of
that.
carbon
Ugh.
that's emitted in the United States. Instead of doing something about that, I would be gathering up and making sure we had the countries of the world coming up with $20 billion and say, here's $20 billion. Stop tearing down the forest. And if you don't, then you're going to have significant economic consequences.
What about the argument that President Trump basically says that you have to balance environmental interests and economic interests, and he's drawn his line?
Well, he hadn't drawn a line. He still, for example, makes sure that he wants to make sure that methane's not a problem. You can now emit more methane without it being a problem. Methane. This is a guy who says that you don't have to have
I
mileage
don't
standards
think
for automobiles.
Trump knows
that exist
anything
now.
that
This is the guy who
he's
says
done or
that,
signed. I really
well,
don't.
the fact
Mitch
is-
sends it in, he signs
It's
it.
all true. And here's
He's
the deal.
talking about the Green New Deal, and it's not $2 billion or $20 billion, as you said. It's $100 trillion.
I'm talking about
where they
the
want to rip
Biden
down
plan.
Go for a
buildings
minute, and then you can go.
and rebuild the building.
No,
It's the
that is
dumbest,
not-
most
that
ridiculous.
is not
where
the case.
airplanes are out of
minute, sir.
business,
That's
where
it.
What?
two-car systems are out, where they want to take out the cows too.
Not
You know, that's not true either, right?
Oh, my
This
God,
is
they're
a-
going to take the
This is a
cows.
100
Simply,
trillion.
look.
That's
Oh, my
more
God.
money than our
is-
country could
Well,
make.
there goes. I'm classified as a cow. They're going to take Debbie. They're going to take me.
Actually, wait a minute, sir. I actually have studied your plan.
Oh, my God.
And it includes upgrading 4 million buildings, weatherizing 2 million homes over 4 years,
Homes.
building 1.5 million energy-efficient homes. So the question becomes, the president is saying, I think some people who support the president would say that sounds like it's going to cost a lot of money and hurt the economy.
What it's going to do is going to create thousands and millions of jobs, good-paying
trillion.
jobs.
But let him finish, sir.
He doesn't know how to do that.
$100
They-
billion.
The fact is, it's going to create millions of good-paying jobs.
Biden does look
and there's tax
snatched.
incentives for people to weatherize, which he wants to get rid of.
You know
That's
what?
gonna
He's
make
got
the
tape. You can
economy
see
much
it. Look
safer.
behind
how
his
much
left
we're paying
ear,
now
or his
to
right,
deal
his
with
right
the
ear to our
hurricanes,
left.
to deal with-
He's
by
got
the way,
that
he has an
tape
answer
Cher
for
uses
hurricanes.
where
He
you
said,
put it
maybe
and
we
you
should drop a
pull
nuclear
you
weapon
pull
on
pull
them
your
in
neck
Maine.
back
I
a little
never
bit.
said that
That's
at all.
he did say
You
that.
made it
I
up.
think he's got that
And
facelift
here's the deal.
tape.
You make up a lot of things.
We're going to be in a position where we can create hard, good jobs by making sure the environment
Hard
is
jobs.
clean and we all are in better shape. We spend billions of dollars.
Hello,
now,
Arlene, honey.
billions
Good
of
to see
dollars
you.
On floods, hurricanes, rising seas. We're in real trouble. Look what's happened just in the Midwest with these storms that come through and wipe out entire sections and counties in Iowa. That didn't happen before. They're because of global warming. We make up 15% of the world's problem. We, in fact, but the rest of the world, we've got to get them to come along. That's why we have to get back into the Paris
You see the
Accord.
tape.
All
You
right,
can see like a
gentlemen, wait a minute,
sheen
Chris, so why didn't
on
he
his
do it
neck,
for 47
right
years?
under
You
his
were vice
ear.
president. Why didn't you get the world? China sends up
See it,
real
see it, see it.
dirt
You can
into
see
the
it.
air. Russia
See how, like,
does,
it's
India
sort of
does, they
pinched
all
up a
do.
little bit?
We're supposed to be good. And by
Not
the way,
that that matters.
he made
I'm
a
just
couple of
pointing
statements.
out.
The Green New
If a
Deal
girl,
is
if a
$100
female
trillion.
got up
That
there
is not $20 billion.
and looked
plan.
snatched, you know, I'd make the
Well,
comment.
we
And
wanna
if a
rebuild
gentleman
every
looked
job
snatched, I'm
plan.
going to
All right,
say
rebuild
it.
every-
If you knew anything
wait, no, no,
about,
wait.
if
Hey,
you
I'm
knew
talking
anything
here.
about-
Let me
about the
talk.
military.
Let me
He said
talk.
I said something about the military. He and his friends made it up, and then they went with it. I never said it.
Okay.
That is
What
not
he
true.
did
Sir,
is he
you're done in
said
this segment.
he called
Mr.
the
Vice-
military
Mr. Vice President,
stupid bastards.
I
And he
did.
said it on
What?
tape. He said
Mr.
stupid
Please,
bastards. He
sir,
said it.
stop.
I would
What?
never
I
say
would
that
Play
to the
it.
military.
Play it.
Go ahead. Mr.
You're on
Vice
tape.
President answered his final question.
The final question is, I can't remember which of all his rantings was the
You
final
don't remember
question.
much.
I'm having a little trouble myself, but
You don't remember
and
much.
about
That
the
was a good line,
economy and
Trump.
about this question of what it's going to cost.
The economy.
I mean, the Green New Deal and the idea of what
Joan
your
Rivers,
environmental
Lord, I
change
wish
is.
Joan was still
Green
alive,
New
y'all.
Deal will pay for itself as we
Joan,
move
oh my
forward.
God, Joan
We're
is
not
the
gonna build
moderator. Oh my
plans
God,
that
she would have
in fact
served him, honey.
are
She would have
good for
served
the
him.
Do you
We're gonna
support
build
the Green New Deal?
Pardon me?
Do you support
No, I don't support the Green
Oh,
New
you
Deal.
don't? Oh, well, that's a
You
big
let-
statement.
I
That
support
means you
the
just
Biden-
lost the radical left.
I
Gone.
support
Oh, you
the
don't?
Biden plan
He has his
that
own
I
plan.
put forward.
Okay.
The Biden plan, which is different than what he calls the radical Green New Deal.
All right, gentlemen, final segment. Election integrity. As we meet tonight, millions of Americans
not gonna ask Trump
are
about him not
receiving
wanting to step
mail-in
down.
ballots or going to vote early. How confident should we be that
Oh,
this
John
will
would
be
have been
a
amazing
fair
and
election?
impeccable.
And
Could you
what are you
imagine?
prepared
Can we talk?
to do
Can we talk?
over the next 5+ weeks? Because it'll not only be to Election Day, but also counting some ballots, mail-in ballots after Election Day. What are you prepared to do to reassure the American people
Oh, I
that
forgot
the
to
next
charge my
president
iPhone. Can I plug it
will
up
be
to
the
your
legitimate
robot of a wife?
winner of this election? In this final segment, Mr. Vice President, you go first.
Oh, that
Prepared to let
eagle.
people vote. They should go to iwillvote.com decide how they're going to vote, when they're going to vote, and what means by which they're going to vote. His own Homeland Security Director and as well as the FBI
I would
director
love
says there
Nancy
is no
Grace
evidence
doing
at
this.
all
I think
that
Nancy
mail-in
would do a good
ballots
job.
are a
Rebel,
source of-
you have.
of being
We need
manipulated
Nancy, and
cheating.
we need
They
that
said
leather
that.
jacket.
The fact is that
Oh
there are
my
gonna be
God,
millions of
Nancy
people
Grace would
because
be
of COVID
amazing.
that are going to be voting by mail-in
Oh my
ballots
God,
like he
you
does.
know
by
what,
the way.
Rebel? Yeah,
he sits behind the
Nancy.
Resolute desk
Can't
and
get
sends
Joe
his
many
ballot
Nancy.
to Florida. Number one. Number two, we're
Justin?
going to make sure that those
Justin would
people
do a
who
good job.
want to vote
Justin
in
would
person
do better
are
than
able to vote
Chris.
because enough poll watchers are there to make sure they can socially distance.
Justin would
The
get
polls
up
are
there.
open on
Wait, I
time.
got to turn it down. I'm sorry. Justin would get up there. You know, he'd be like, now, first question. How much do you love dick? You know, Justin would say it. I'd fall out.
You will determine
Justin,
the outcome
oh,
of this
I'd die.
election. Vote,
I would die if
vote,
Justin said
vote.
that.
If you're able to vote early in your state, vote early. If you're able to vote in person, vote in person. Vote whatever way is the best way for you, because
So
you
true,
will,
Arlene.
he
Poor
cannot
Chris
stop
Wallace.
you from being able to determine the outcome of this election. And in terms of whether or not when
how-
the votes are
oh,
counted
he
and
looks
they're all
pissed. Look
counted,
at Trump. Look at
that
Trump.
will be accepted.
He's so pissed.
If I
He's
win,
melting.
that will be accepted. If I lose, that'll be accepted. But by the way, if in fact he says he's not sure what he's going to accept, well, let me tell you something. It doesn't matter, because if we get the votes, it's going to be all over. He's going to go. He can't stay in power. It won't happen. It won't happen. So vote. Just make sure
This is
you
a good
understand
closing.
you have it in your
This is so
control to
good.
determine
What a
what
crooked
this country's
Hillary.
going to look like the
Honey,
next
what
4
does Hillary
years.
got to do
Is it
with
going to
anything,
change? We're gonna
honey?
get 4 more years of these lies.
Mr. President, 2 minutes.
So when I listened to Joe talking about a transition, there's been no transition from when I won. I won that election. And if you look at
What?
crooked Hillary Clinton, if you look at all of the different people,
Crooked?
there
What
was
is
no
Hillary?
transition because they came after me trying to do a coup. They came after me spying on my campaign. They started from the day I won and even before I won, from the day I came down the escalator with our First Lady. They were a disaster. They were a disgrace to our country. And we've
You
caught
won
them.
the election.
We've caught them all. We've got it all on tape.
Power
We've
was
caught them all. And by the
transferred
way,
to
you
you
gave the idea for
peacefully.
the Logan Act against General Flynn. You better take a look at that because we caught you in a sense. And President Obama was sitting in the office. He knew about it too. So don't tell me about a free transition. As far as the ballots are concerned, it's a disaster. A solicited ballot.
This is a
Okay,
hot
solicited is okay. You're
coochie
soliciting,
coo.
you're asking, they send it back, you send it back.
I
did
wish I
that.
could, honey.
If you
I'm
have an
old enough to
unsolicited-
run.
They're sending millions of ballots
have
all
to
over
walk,
the
though. I
country.
can't run.
There's fraud. They found them in creeks. They
Jerry,
found
I
some
don't know
with
what the
name Trump
answer
just
is.
happened to have the name
In
Trump
creeks?
just the other day in a waste paper basket. They're being sent all over the place. They sent 2 in a Democrat area. They sent out 1,000 ballots. Everybody got 2 ballots. This is going to be a fraud like you've never seen. The other thing, it's nice on November 3rd, you're watching and you see who won the election. And I think we're going to do well because people are really happy with the job we've done. But you know what? We won't know. We might not know for months because
Are
these
they?
ballots are going to be all over. Take a look at what happened in Manhattan. Take a look at what happened in New Jersey. Take a look at what happened in Virginia and other places. They're not losing 2%, 1%, which, by the way, is too much. An election could be won or lost with that. They're losing 30 and
I wish
40%.
I had still had my
It's a
Trump receipt.
fraud,
I'd return
and
him.
It's a shame. And can you imagine?
Can you
where they
return a
say,
president?
you have to have your ballot in by November 10th. November 10th. That means that's 7 days after the election, in theory, should have been announced.
Okay.
We have major states with that.
Sir,
all run by
2
Democrats.
minutes is 2 minutes.
All run by Democrats. It's
President
a fraud.
Trump,
It's a rigged election.
you're going to be able to continue. You have been charging for months that mail-in balloting is going to be a disaster.
Yeah, it's
You
telling
say
people
it's
in
rigged,
Florida to vote.
that it's going to lead to fraud. But in
Vote by mail.
2018, in the last
Vote by
midterm
mail.
election, 31 million people voted mail-in voting. That was a quarter, more than a quarter of all the voters that year cast their ballots by mail. Now that millions of mail-in ballots have gone out, what are you going to do about it? And are you counting on the Supreme Court, including a Justice Barrett, to settle any dispute?
Yeah, I think I'm counting on them to look at the ballots, definitely. I hope we don't need them in terms of the election itself.
He's
But
telling
for the
it in
ballots,
plain
I
sight
think
what he
so.
wants to do,
Because
doesn't he?
what's happening
He's-
is incredible.
He really
I
is
just
telling
heard,
us.
I read today where at least 1%
He's counting
of the
on
ballots
his
for
Supreme Court
2016
pick to
were
roll the outcome of the
invalidated.
election. Wow.
They take them. We don't like them. We don't like them.
But what
They
are you
throw
going to
them
do
out
about it?
left
There
and
are
right.
millions of ballots going out
What
right
you
now.
do
What
is
are
you
gonna
go
do?
and vote. You do a solicited ballot,
No,
and that's
I'm not-
okay,
I know
or
your
you go and
complaint.
vote.
I'm asking you about the fact that millions of people
You go
have
and vote. You go and
No,
vote
but
like
what I'm
they
saying is, what are
like
you
they
gonna do
used
about
to
the
in
fact
the
that
old.
millions of people?
You either do, Chris, a solicited ballot where you're sending it in, they're sending it back, and you're sending.
This
They
is
have mailmen with
insane.
lots of it. Did you see what's going on? Take a look at West Virginia. Mailmen selling the ballots. They're being sold. They're being dumped in rivers. This is a horrible thing for our country. This is not
evidence
going
of
to
that.
end well.
There is
Okay.
no
This
evidence
is
of that.
not going
Vice
to
President
end well.
Biden-
5 states
In fact,
have had
go ahead,
mail-in
sir.
ballots for the last decade or more. 5, including 2 Republican states. And you don't have to solicit the ballot. It's sent to you. It's sent to your home. What we're saying is, they're saying is that it has to be a
Trump
postmark.
is- look
by
out-
the
look at
time-
Trump's
by
coming off
election
weak.
day. If it doesn't get in,
He's
till
not-
the
he's not
7th,
on
8th,
his
9th,
game tonight.
it
He's
still
not funny.
should be counted.
He's sweating.
He's just afraid of counting
His
the
makeup's-
votes. because he
You're
knows what the
wrong.
outcome
You're
is.
wrong.
He needs a
I
powder.
want to continue with you on this.
He should have
Vice
sat.
President Biden.
He should have
He's so
sat
wrong
his,
when he makes
his
a
spray
statement.
tan.
Excuse me.
He should have
Vice
baked that
President
spray
Biden, the
tan.
biggest problem
He
is
should have
that
baked that
over the
spray
years,
tan.
Mail-in voting has not been fraud historically. It has been that sizable numbers, sometimes hundreds of thousands of ballots are thrown out because they have not been properly filled out, or there is some other irregularity, or they missed
problem.
the deadline. So the question I have is, are you concerned?
Look at what's
the
her name
Supreme
down
Court
there.
with
What
the
was
Justice
Tiffany
Barrett
doing? She was doing like
will
the
settle any
share
dispute?
shuffle. Did y'all see that?
I'm concerned that any court would settle this because here's the deal. When you get a ballot and you fill it out, you're supposed to have an affidavit. If you didn't
Tremaine,
know,
you
you have
might be right,
someone
honey.
say that this is me. You should be able to, if in fact you can verify that's you when the
How
before the
can- I
ballot
just- you
is
know, I'm
thrown
being
out,
honest right
that's
now.
sufficient to be able to count the ballot.
Biden
if
has
someone
won
made a
this
mistake
because he's
and
coming
not
off sane and
dotting
confident.
the correct I.
Trump
Who
is
they
just
voted
coming
for,
out
testify, say who
insane,
they voted
like a
for,
cat that you're trying to give
say
a
it's
bath,
you.
and
That
it's
is
just all
totally
over the
legitimate.
place.
All right.
Excuse me,
No, no,
Chris,
no,
cat
when you have
doesn't want the
80
ban.
million ballots
Gentlemen, I have a final
sent in
question.
and swamping the system.
You
know it can't be done. You know it can't. And
We get
already,
All right.
billions
So
of
now-
Amazon
Wait a
packages.
Wait a minute,
You
gentlemen.
can get anything off
Final
Amazon
question.
every day. You tell me we
In
can't
8
deliver a
states.
ballot?
Keep
Get
talking.
saved.
In 8
Get
states,
saved.
election workers are
Get
prohibited,
saved.
currently by law, 8 states, from
Someone
even beginning
juiced
to
this
process
orange up on here. I'm sick of
ballots. You can
seeing,
take them out
seeing
of the
this orange
envelopes
on
and
my
just
screen.
flatten them
Someone
until
juiced
election day.
them.
That means that it's likely, because there's going to be a huge increase
His
in
talk about not being
mail-in
able to do
balloting,
online, I
that
mean,
we are not going to know on
mail
election
voting
night
is insane. The post office, you know how many Amazon packages? We all get Amazon packages nonstop. It can handle it, honey. It can handle it.
for the Vice
Thank you,
President.
Holly,
Neither
for
of you
that
will
super
interrupt
chat.
the
Love
other.
Deborah and my girls
Will
and
you
guys.
urge
Thank
your
you so much,
supporters
honey. Thank
to
you
stay
so much,
calm
Holly, for your
during
support,
this
honey.
extended
Mwah.
period, not to engage in any civil unrest? And will you pledge tonight that you will not declare victory until the election has been independently certified? President Trump, you
I'm
go first.
urging my supporters to go into the polls and watch very carefully,
Oh, my
because that's what
God.
has to happen. I am urging them to do it. As you know, today there was a big problem. In Philadelphia, they went in to watch. They're called poll watchers, a very safe, very nice thing. They were thrown out. They weren't allowed to watch.
You can't
know why?
harass
'Cause
people.
bad things happen in Philadelphia, bad things. And I am urging my people. I hope it's going to be a
Yeah.
fair election.
When you
If
eat
it's
a
a fair
bad Philly
election,
cheesesteak
I
and
am
you have a
100%
blowout.
on board. But if I see tens of thousands of ballots being manipulated, I can't go along with that. And I'll tell
what-
you
what
what,
does that
from
mean,
a
not go
common
along?
sense,
Does that mean
I'll
you're gonna
tell you
tell
what
your
it means.
people to take to the
It means
street?
you have a fraudulent election. You're
And what are
sending
you
out
gonna do?
80
And
million
what would you
ballots.
do
They're
about
not.
that?
They're not equipped to. These people aren't equipped to handle it.
Yes,
Number one.
they are.
Number
Oh, my
two,
God.
they
I
cheat.
can't deal.
They cheat.
Oh, he
Hey,
needs to get
they
saved.
found
Oh, my
ballots
Lord.
in
I
a
hope he gets
waste
saved
paper
in the back
basket
alley.
3 days ago.
Oh, I hope
and they all
Jesus
had
saves
the name
him.
military ballots. They were military. They all had the name Trump on them.
Vice President
think
Biden,
that's good?
Oh, my
Vice President
God.
Biden, final question for you.
Billy.
Will
Oh,
you
my God, I
urge your
cannot believe he's
supporters
saying
to
this
stay
about
calm while the
places.
vote is counted? And will you
Does he not
pledge
realize he
not
has
to declare victory until the election
people
is
that support him in these
independently certified?
different
Yes,
places?
here's the deal.
Talks about all
You
these
count the
cities.
ballots, as you pointed out. Some of these ballots in some states can't even be opened until Election Day. And if there's thousands of ballots, it's going to take time to do it. And by the way, our military, they've been voting by ballots since the
Forever.
end of the Civil War, in effect. And that's what's going to happen. Why was it not? Why is it for them somehow not fraudulent? It's the same process. It's honest. No one has established at all that there is fraud related to mail-in ballots, that somehow it's a fraudulent process.
It's already been established. Take a
but-
look at Carolyn Maloney's race
I
in
asked
Manhattan.
you had an opportunity to
Look at Carolyn
respond.
Monroe.
Go ahead.
They have no idea
Tell
what
him to
President
shut
Biden, go
up,
ahead.
Chris.
He has no idea what
Tell
he's
him to
talking
be
about.
quiet.
Here's the deal. The fact is, I
Lord.
will accept it, and he will
Somebody
too.
go
You
through
know
and
why?
powder his nose.
Because
Lord,
once
I'm about to
the
go blind
winner is
looking
declared
at
after
it.
all the ballots are counted, all the votes are counted, that'll be the end of it. That'll be the end of it. And if it's me, in fact, fine. If it's not me, I'll support the outcome. And I'll be a president not just for the Democrats. I'll be a president for Democrats and Republicans. And this guy,
I want to
if
see
in
an
fact,
honest
Okay,
ballot count.
gentlemen,
We-
you say that's the end of
Chris,
it? This is the
I
end
wanna
of this
see an
debate?
honest ballot count.
We're
And I
going to
think
leave
he
it
does
there.
too.
To be continued as in more
What?
debates as we go on. President Trump, Vice President Biden, it's been an interesting hour and a half. I want to thank you both
Has it, has
for
it. Oh my God, I feel
participating
like it's been a
in the
week.
first of 3 debates that you've
Hello,
agreed to
Taffy.
engage in. We
Hello,
want to thank
honey.
Case
Oh my
Western
God, we
Reserve
got Taffy
University
Pose in the house.
and the Cleveland Clinic
Oh
for
my
hosting
God,
this
drag
event. The
queen
next debate,
extraordinaire,
sponsored by the Commission on
y'all. If you don't know about
Presidential
Taffy,
Debates,
honey.
will be
Oh my
1
God,
week
I'm
from
gonna fall
tomorrow,
out.
October 7th, at the University of Utah in Salt Lake City. The two
Joan
vice
was needed
presidential
tonight.
nominees, Vice President Mike Pence and Senator Kamala Harris, will debate at 9 p.m. Eastern that night. We hope you watch. Until then, thank you and good night.
Let's see what they do. Look at him. Why is he giving a thumbs up to Biden? You did a good job. See, Trump cannot be mean to somebody off camera. You notice that? Because he wants everybody to like him. Don't go near him. What's going on? Are they going to put them each in a... She's going to... See, she's going to shake her hand? What's going on? How you doing? She's like, she probably likes it because he's getting tortured. Your makeup's dripping. Oh, she looks so good. She looks good. I mean, you know, I'm not going to lie. She looks good. Jill, you look... Jill, what is Jill wearing? Honey, did she rob somebody's drapery? Get back, Joe. Joe, get back.
President Trump, the greatest president of all time.
Oh my God, that's so horrible. That's so cheesy. What are we in? Y'all, I'm sorry. Jill, what is she wearing? Jill, what? She's wearing somebody's drapes. That was horrible looking. Oh my God. Jill. Looked like a couch from the 90s, didn't it? Can we go back to that? Oh my gosh. That was ugly, whatever that was. Oh, it won't let me. It won't let me go back to it. Crap. Y'all. You know, I guess I should. Hold on, let me. We'll have a little girl talk before I end this. We'll have a little girl talk. That was horrible. That was so horrible. Oh my Lord. Okay, y'all. I cannot believe it was only, first and foremost, I cannot believe it was an hour and 30 minutes because I feel like I've been watching this for like a week. I feel like we just binge watched like a whole season of something on Netflix. That was just too much. I'm kind of shook right now because Jill, honey, she couldn't call Michelle up for some tips on some outfits. That was, oh my God, that was horrible. That was horrible. I'm shook behind that. That shook me. But anyways, I think, and you know, I'm somewhat biased, I guess I would say, because you know, I'm going to vote for Biden, but I'm able to look at Trump when he's an entertainer, and I've said this before. I've said this on Easter egg, and I've told this to Cheryl the other night. You know, there's some aspects of Trump. He is an entertainer, so he knows what makes good TV. You know what I mean? So I mean, he gets up there sometimes, and he knows how to work a crowd or a camera. But tonight, his jokes were off. I think Biden had better comebacks. He just came off, like I said, like a caged cat that you're trying to give a shower or a bath to, and the cat's just all over the place. It was horrible. The spray tan, the sweating. He was worried about Biden being drugged, and there was going to be drug tests. Remember that? He came off like he was on some type of upper, and it kicked in halfway through, like he didn't eat anything or something, and he had an up section where he was getting there and he was moving back and forth with his head, and then it was just straight down. And then the sweating, the shiny nose. We need a powder crew coming in there. Next time you do his makeup, can we bake it for at least like 20 minutes or something? It needs to be baked and set. Horrible. Biden, Trump had me worried that Biden was really going to get up there and do a horrible job, but I'm actually like kind of shook how good Biden performed tonight, because in the last debates, when we were doing the primaries, Biden was not that great at all. I'm just going to be honest. He was horrible. But with the one-on-one, I think he really did a good job. He really did a great job. I don't know personally. It's like when your friend gets that knockoff bag off the eBay's Louis, a Louis bag, and you've got your nice real Louis bag, and it's setting out, and then she's got her real Louis bag, okay, that she bought for $12 off eBay, and it's just looking like a hot mess. It looks sort of like maybe 50 miles away. If you have like 5 pair of sunglasses on, you might be able to squint and say, okay, is that a Louis? But then when you get close, you're like, oh no, ma'am, that bag's a hot mess. It looks like a rotten potato. And that's, I see a president and I see a rotten potato, and I'm just putting it out there. I just don't look at this picture, y'all. Come on, y'all. Rotten potato, Louis bag. I mean, the option, it's never been clearer in my opinion. This was a dumpster fire with babies. Black holes. It was just a hot mess. All right, let me look at this chain. Yeah, Mondo says, baby, he's a reality show actor, nothing else. Of course, he knows how to work a camera and audience. The girl wants airtime. Jerry says, so glad you streamed this day up. I had to go to the bathroom. Trump made me sick. Oh, Lord, I'm sorry, honey. Rashawn said, I'm shook today. And our president, not my president. Let's see. You know what? When he made the comment about Philly, I was like, this isn't going to go well. The 2 things stuck with me tonight, just off my head. When he made the comment, when he attacked Biden's, one of his sons having a drug addiction problem when he was younger, that's not going to, I really think that'll hurt some of his independent numbers. That just stuck with me because, we've all had people in our family that have drug issues, and it's, you just don't, that's just so low. You don't do something like that. And also when he made the comment about Philly and he kept attacking the cities, I'm like, there's people there that vote for you. Why would you say that? Kyle says, thanks, Debra. It was great. Let's see. But yeah, it was just insane. Oh, yeah. Oh, well, Lord, we forgot about that. The Proud Boys, when he sat there and said, be on standby, stand back and stand by. What? I mean, how hard is it just to say? Why can't he say it? I just don't understand. They would still vote for me anyways. They would still vote for him. So why not just say, hey, no, I don't want your vote. I don't think you need to be doing this. That's un-American. Un-American. But yeah, to me, I'm trying to go back when I've covered with Madge and the girls, when we covered the past debates with Hillary. Hillary was good, but I don't know. I really I'm really warming up to Biden. I really am. And I've supported Hillary, but I think this debate was, I don't know, it was a dumpster fire, but I think in the end it made Biden look so much more. He's just the right man for the job. And that's my opinion. You might not like it, but that's how I feel. Maybe you watch this and you're saying, oh, I'm definitely voting for Trump because that was just clear to me. Now, I'd get your eyes checked, and also maybe check your ears, eyes. Maybe sometimes when you smell things, if that might be a sense that something ain't right, like not everybody goes to 100%. I might take this candle and smell it. Now it's supposed to smell like an orange, but when I smell it, it smells like the ER. Something's wrong. I should probably go see a doctor. But anyways, girls, thank you so much. And for the super chats tonight, y'all. Oh my God, you girls. Thank y'all so much. Thank y'all so much for these super chats, because I definitely didn't expect all that. Oh, all this love. But anyways, girls, I'll be back tomorrow. I'll be doing a live stream for the game. I'm going to be doing that Evil Within game because a lot of girls said that was fun to do. So I hate these terrified games and it terrifies me, but I'm going to do it for you girls. And if you're not subscribed to my channel, subscribe. I cover everything, honey. It started with me just remixing videos and now I'm all over the place because guess what? So's America. And if James Charles can play Minecraft, why can't I? I don't really care for Minecraft, but I'm just saying. But anyways, girls, thanks for all the love tonight and the likes and everything. And check out my newest video. I reacted to Nick's latest video. 10,000 calories. Can you believe that? All in one day. Do y'all believe that? Oh, I got another super chat. Thank you so much, Impeccable. All right, I'll have to see about the next debate. I'll let you know if this goes over and gets a good comments and everything. I think we did good tonight. You know, we have some people in here that have different opinions, and I think everybody did a good job. Nobody was going crazy. Nobody was telling me to ban this person, ban that person. Everybody just got along, and that's what I like. You know, we just all need to get along and laugh. And if you can't laugh at this, honey, I need you to get some prayer. Anyways, girls, thanks again. See you next time. Bye. Bye. Get saved.